Bowman Gray Stadium, the Madhouse.
It's the Madhouse Maniacs. They're getting up on their feet.
Mass chaos. Oh, he hits them! Climbing all over each other. Trouble! Every time you turn around, there's physicality. The fans are on their feet for a photo finish. Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the home of NASCAR's greatest Coliseum. We have action every Saturday night here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Still the most exciting of them all. Big crash. Oh! This is Bowman Gray. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 1116th edition of still the most exciting of them all. Round 5, double points night here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The Clydesdales showing their horsepower, and now the fans circulating the famed quarter mile are ready for a different kind of horsepower. I'm Matthew Dillner from Flow Racing, joined alongside Winston-Salem native James Pike, and we've got a lineup of racing tonight.
This is one of the biggest nights on the calendar here at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's double points for all divisions running, headlined by a 100-lapper for the Sportsman division, their first of the year. Twin 25 laps of the Brad's Golf Cars Modified. Street stocks are going, 2 stadium stock races, and then a whole bunch of action all over the place here on one of the biggest nights of the calendar. A lot of people in town for the Coca-Cola 600 come up here and they come see the action once they're done with the big track. So we'll have a big crowd on hand tonight, I think, no doubt.
Yeah, I know a bunch of them that are actually going to try to pull the double. The Xfinity Series race at Charlotte Motor Speedway just ended, and they are already on their way up here northbound 85 to Route 52 North to good old Bowman Gray Stadium. If you've never been to this racetrack, you need to come because it's one of the most unique sporting venues in all of America. If you've never been here, you need to come and you need to see it. 4 turns, just like every other oval, but this isn't every other oval. You got the north turn, you got the south turn, and look at that. 0 degrees. Yes, 0 degrees of banking. Flat racing around a football field in a historic stadium built in 1937. And boy, oh boy, does it put on a show. And all the fans here tonight are still talking about last week's winners.
Still talking about the fact that Burt Myers picked up his 100th career win. 99 wins in the modifieds, 1 in the sportsman. Lee Jeffries had a masterclass in defense to pick up the 2nd win of the mods. Daniel Dye, 1 for 1 in his sportsman career, got the win last week along with Zach Orr, who got his season back on track with a visit to Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane. Andy Southern won the street stocks, and then Bugs Tremiska and Chuck Wall got it done in the stadium stocks.
Some great to what everybody's been talking about. Burt Myers, his big 100th win. And some people are like, well, that's his 99th win. Well, that's his 99th modified win. But as far as the all-time wins list at Bowman Gray Stadium, we wanted to break it down for you, the race fans, live on Flow Racing. Tim Brown, the master of the modifieds right now with 101 modified wins. Burt Myers right behind can tie tonight with the Twin 25 lap features, 99 modified wins, and as James Pike said, 1 sportsman win. Jimmy Johnson, not that Jimmy Johnson, our Jimmy Johnson, 98 sportsman wins for the great Jimmy Johnson. The ageless Alfred Hill in 4th place in all time between modified sportsmen, 17 hobby wins. Look at the breakdown. Ralph Brinkley Jr. Miller tied for 5th. Justin Mincy with research deep into the archives of Bowman Gray Stadium to pull out that. The Dash win, the NASCAR Dash Series, 9 hobby wins for Brinkley, who he lost last year, sadly, and Junior Miller, one of the all-time greats of Stadium Wars.
And the neatest part about this graphic, I think, is that it underscores excellence across divisions.
Yes.
Yes, the modifieds are the big one, but you can be successful in a lot of other divisions, and they deserve credit just the same.
You know, look at that tonight. The superstars, okay? And they're going to put on a show tonight. Well, let's go down trackside to Randy Pulliam.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you all please rise for the presentation of colors by the South Stokes Marine Corps Junior ROTC Color Guard and the playing of our national anthem. The Color Guard tonight is led by Cadet Staff Sergeant Krutz. Other team members are Cadet Captain Bottoms, Cadet Second Lieutenant Underwood, Cadet Corporal Smith, and Cadet Lance Corporal Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, one more hand, please, for the South Stokes Marine Corps Junior ROTC Color Guard. Welcome once again to Bowman Gray Stadium on this Day weekend, where we honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Race fans, you know what they say. Saturday night's all right for racing. Say it with me. Let's go racing! First up.
Oh boy, the famed words. We're going to have street stock racing next. Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing. We'll be back with the starting lineup.
Choice Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your number one source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling on the road and off. Choice Tire and Automotive offers check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. They bring the best quality service possible in everything they do, and their team is committed to providing the best workmanship and customer experience possible. Choice Tire and Automotive's hours are Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Give Choice Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
Welcome back to night 1116 on Flow Racing. This is Bowman Gray Stadium. I'm your host, Matthew Dillner, with co-host James Pike, and we're going to give you the starting lineup for the first 20-lap street stock race. On the pole in the Bullies Bar and Grill, number 8 from Lexington, it's Kyler Staley. To the outside, a winning female in this division, the number 4, Just Chillin' Lawn Care Machine for Emily Lewis.
Starting in the third position, it's the number 72 Turn and Burn Hobby Raceway Machine out of Lexington, North Carolina, driven by Bryant Robertson. And starting in fourth, the number 9 Studio House Photography car out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Brandon Brown.
Starting in fifth position, waving his hands incessantly out the window right now in the Privacy Fence Solutions, number 7. It's one of the most popular drivers here, Zach Staley. To the outside from Germantown, North Carolina, it's the 19 of TJ Whaley.
Starting in seventh, the number 99 Priority 1 Auto Sales Machine, points to Brian Sykes Jr. Brian Shoup, representing Creed Transmission out of Logat, North Carolina, in the 88, starts 8th.
Justin Alverson, Andy Southern, Kevin Gilbert, Craig Hartless, Jordan Atkins, Christian Joyce 14th, DJ Dean, Austin Jones, Brian Sykes Jr., Zach Koger, Brad Lewis, Donnie Martin, Nate Kirk. Round out the field. 20 laps for the Street Stalkers. Night 1116 has begun. The 50th anniversary Street Stocks putting on a show.
Kyler Staley with a good jump. Robertson will follow suit. Those two get clear. Good battle there with Lewis for that third spot. Look at Zach Staley making moves on the inside. They get into it. They stack up everybody over in the north turn. And we've got some cars going through the grass. I think there might be the 28 machine. Brian Sykes Sr. went dirt tracking way towards the back of the field. And that's allowed the front two to get away.
Zach Staley right now. Kyler Staley is leading. But Zach Staley has been the one everybody's eyes are on in that number 7 machine. Now dicing his way to 4th after some big contact on that first lap. Now behind him is Brian Sykes Jr., the points leader in that black and yellow. Number 99, having him a season.
Starting to bring a few friends with him and some drivers who are high up in the point standings. Kevin Gilbert entered tonight second in the standings. He's right behind Sykes as you get a good look at Emily Lewis trying to traverse the gap as Kyler Staley and Brian Robertson start to beat up on each other. They are fender to fender, full contact in each corner, trying to sort out this battle for the lead.
I'll tell you what, Staley, who is now, Zach Staley, has lost that position now to Brian Sykes. And now Kevin Gilbert will now file into the 5th position. But up front, Kyler Staley, on the left side of your screen, is really showing his stuff. And this is a driver that wasn't really expected to be doing maybe this well in the street stock division. He's 4th in points right now, but he's got a mirror full. Right now, a big mirror full with Bryant Robertson.
Brian Robertson not going anywhere. Also saw the officials give the black flag to the purple number 80 car of Nate Kirk. So Kirk already with the black flag here early in the going, and still no change in the battle for the lead. What about this, though? This is dead center of this pack, and now everything will change up a little bit because we get our first call, 811, before you dig caution of the evening.
Well, that didn't take long, 7 laps to be exact. Kyler Staley didn't want to see that. He's the driver up front right now in that number 8 machine, with Bryant Robertson in 2nd, Emily Lewis in 3rd, Brian Sykes Jr. making his way up to the 4th position, the points leader on double points night. So, folks, where you finish tonight means so much. First in points, exactly, are running 4th and 5th. Sykes in 4th, the gray number 13 of the K-Train, Kevin Gilbert, still winless in his long career, 2nd in points right now. Captain Bridesmaid, he's been for so long in this division. Can he get it done tonight on double points night?
One car stopped over near the entry to the work area by the start of the north turn, turn 3, for those of you who layout of an oval. Here's a look at the point standings. Sykes, your points leader, by 6 over Kevin Gilbert, 8 over Andy Southern as we get the 1-to-go signal here from the flag stand. Southern got his first win of the season last week. And then Kyler Staley currently leading this race, 14 points. Brad Lewis tied with him, those two 4th in the standings as we go into this evening. And we could see a little bit of a shuffle, I think, just depending on how things shake out here.
This Sportsman 100 is something to behold. tonight. But right now the table is being set by the street stocks, then the modifieds. The fans are still filing in to the Madhouse. Green flag is out. 8 laps on the board for Kyler Staley.
Staley and Robertson again with a good jump. Emily Lewis trying to keep the 99 machine at bay as best she can, but it's going to get very physical, I think, at the front of this. Now that we're starting to work our way into the second half of this race, and they do not want to let these front two get away. Here goes Sainz to try and get Emily Lewis. Might bring K-Train with him as we'll approach halfway this time.
That is just what Sykes wanted to do, get himself towards the front, keep that 13 behind him. That is the man who is second place to him in these point standings. This is double points night. Oh, so important. Now the charge is on for the lead. Robertson peaked down to the bottom of Staley.
Staley looking for some sort of breathing room, but really needs to try and find a way to get up to Emily Lewis. I think that's the big thing, just crossing that gap, making sure you can get it. He ran wide out of the corner, so Halby with the opportunity to go inside. Remember, these two tangled at the beginning of the season, and it literally did come to fisticuffs, so certainly no Christmas cards between these two. And racing a little bit carefully, I think, for their standards, as Brandon Brown got checked up there just a little bit and stacked up Andy Southern and Christian Joyce. And then also in that line just a little bit further back, Austin Jones is there too. So again, big hitters in the points running deep in this field.
Oh, everybody in this stadium is feeling the fact that Staley and Halvey are battling, but right now a 5-car melee here up at the front of the field. Single file they go. 14 laps on the board. Who's going to be the first to step out? Who's going to be the first to move their nose in there and try to nudge for the spot?
Who is going to be the straw that stirs the drink? I wonder, maybe a Brian Sykes Jr. might be the person that does it. It's still Kyler Staley for the moment. Brian Robertson puts the bumper there, and I think they just about accordion there, as it's still Kyler Staley after all that.
And big time bumper tag right now at the front of this field. Robertson gets the bumper from Sykes Jr. Robertson with the big save there. The 72, the big man hanging on to it.
For now, but he's got to find a way to try and put the pressure on Kyler Staley. They're running, make this a battle, and Brian Sykes Jr. definitely, I think, is right on top of that with a big send into the corners, going to try and uproot Brian Robertson, but to no avail. Robertson hangs on to second, and that's everything that Kyler Staley could ask for. There's a big shot in the middle of the north turn, and still Brian Sykes Jr. has not found a way to get to second.
Kyler Staley at the front of this field. Can he hang on? Here comes Sykes Jr. to the bottom, peeking for daylight.
With the shove, with the nudge, Brian Robertson hangs on. Great defensive driving to hang on to that second spot, but it's all Kyler Staley here as they take the white flag in this opening race of the night here for the QRC HVAC Refrigeration Street Stock Series.
He's dreamt of this for a long time, and now he holds on with the north turn nudge sideways, and it's a first-time winner in the street stocks. Staley has done it. Kyler Staley, number 8. is number 1 in the fans' hearts tonight.
Number 8 gets win number 1 and becomes the 118th driver to win in the street stocks here at the Madhouse. And you can see the appreciation both for Kyler, coming from Zach, and then Brian Sykes Jr. got in there and gave Kyler a little bit of love as well. He's fought for this, he's worked for this, and now this whole Motorsports on Main crew is going to get the chance to celebrate in Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane. And look at Zach. Zach's here doing donuts, so you've got 2 team cars celebrating big time at Bowman Gray.
Look at the perfect circles from Dad in Victory Lane, and he's going to follow his son, or no, he's going to pull him behind. This is the moment for Kyler Staley. He is a winner, holding that Bowman Gray checkered flag.
This is going to be a big celebration. Kyler Staley takes the victory lap with that famed Bowman Gray checkered flag, celebrating his first trip to Victory Lane in Winston-Salem. What a moment, what a night for Kyler Staley.
And this is a kid that worked on his own stuff in the stadium stocks. Very likable young man, and he's done it the right way. You know, while all the headlines have been about his dad and his antics or suspensions or physicality, this kid has done it so clean. and we're so impressed with Kyler Staley. Let's go down trackside for all the celebration.
Everybody reaching in, trying to show some love. This is such a big deal. Privacy Fence Solutions, Bully's Bar and Grill, Motorsports on Main, some of the sponsors on this area. Man, do you hear this crowd? Tears in his eyes. One more time. Let's hear you. Man, this is such a big deal. Brian Robertson was all over that rear bumper of yours, man. Billy Gregg kisses him in the mouth. Zach Staley right here with your dad with you, man. Look at this. Tears in everybody's eyes. It's such a big deal for you, Kyler. Tell us about it, buddy.
I don't know, man. I knew, so my spotter, Dominic, he drawed the pole. He drawed the one. I walked out. I didn't know who drew where. Brian told me he wasn't going to wreck me. He didn't wreck me last week. I appreciate him for running me clean. I got to thank my dad, most of all.
Told you it was faster than mine.
Billy Gregg, Nate Gregg, Dominic Jr., all my guys, fucking Kenny, the sponsors, state. Yeah. Let me just see that. Statewide Roofing, Motorsports on Main, LenderMom.com, Colby's Roofing and Gutters, Dirty Hooker Towing, Todd's Tire, Tracy's Towing, Big D Sandblast and Bauer Insurance, Potts Prints, Privacy Fence Solutions, New River Welding Rigging, L&D Forestry and Mulching, Veteran Renovations, and Tip Top Tree Service. If I forgot anybody, I'm sorry.
Kyler Staley, congratulations on your first win in the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Division.
And I got free kids t-shirts tonight.
Once again, let him hear you, Kyler Staley!
Oh, the fans are going nuts, and we're going to have a lot more excitement for you here at Bowman Gray Stadium. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on Flow Racing. Welcome back to NASCAR tradition like no other. And tonight, the first Twin 25 for the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division. Let's get you set up for that with the starting lineup. Starting on the pole tonight with a quick time in qualifying, the 104, Q104.1, number 04 for Brandon Ward from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. To the outside, the Wahlberg Pizza Grill, number 75, now 29-time winner, it's Lee Jeffries.
Starting in third in the Citrus 8 Cleaners, number 1 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, seeking modified win, number 100. It's the ace, Burt Myers. Starting in fourth in the number 4 car, the Carolina Drilling Machine, also out of Walnut Cove. It's the working man, his brother, Jason Myers.
Gotta love that brother row right there. Next row on the inside, the driver they call the showstopper, the Taylor Auto Parts. Number 16, it's Chris Fleming. To the outside, your points leader in the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Machine, the number 10 for Mike Speeney.
Starting in 7th, number 83, the Pulliam's Hot Dogs Hayes Jewelers Machine out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina. It's the Rocket, Tim Brown. And starting in 8th, in the 07 car, the Inspira Dental Care Machine out of Walkertown, North Carolina, it's the real deal, Riley Neal.
Starting 9th tonight, making his debut here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium in a number 73, the New Jersey driver, the 14-year-old sensation, it's Paulie Hartwig III. And to the outside, the great veteran of Stadium Wars, the Muddy Creek Motorsports number 5, Randy Butner.
Starting in 11th, driving the number 79 EME Industrial Services car out of Manasquan, New Jersey, it's Skip Flores. It's starting in 12th, the number 41 car out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, representing Z-Max, it's Farmer Ted, Bobby Meisler Jr.
Starting 13th in the Wagner Appliances, number 51, it's a Snowman, Junior Snow. To the outside, in the number 6 Bryson Brothers Aerial Solutions Machine, it's Slate Myers.
Starting in 15th, the number 9 car out of King, North Carolina, racing for Eleanor Transmission, it's Kyle Southern. And starting in the 16th position, it's the comeback kid in the number 64 Bigby Coffee car out of Lexington, North Carolina, Ethan Truel.
Starting 17th tonight in a beautiful number 8 car, it's Darren Redmond. To the outside, the E-Metals number 00. It's the Flying Taco, Danny Probst.
Starting in 19th, the number 77 car out of Jonesville, North Carolina, racing for Wahlberg Grill and Pizza, it's the lovely Susan Harwell. Starting in 20th, it's the number 35 car, the Carolina Triad Choice Realty Machine out of East Bend, North Carolina, Brandon Butner. Starting in the 21st position, representing Williams Trucking out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, it's the 99 of Crab Smith. And starting in 22nd, the 39 Old Well Tavern Machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Gerald Robinson Jr. And the final car in tonight's race, it's Brandon Woods, the number 3. Get ready to go after it here at Bowman Gray.
Well, the Twin 25s sure put on a show here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and last week was absolutely a stunner. Packed house. Watch this crazy last lap. Speedy into Jeffries. Jeffries with the save of the night right there. Now watch Brandon Ward as he pushes Speedy into him. Another big save. Haymakers and a 29th career win for the veteran Lee Jeffries. The fans at the Madhouse were going bananas.
And that is as good a drive and an example of how to play defense from the lead at Bowman Gray as I've seen in a long, long time. Not a surprise when you consider the amount of experience that Lee Jeffries has, but fabulous to see. You don't necessarily have to have the fastest car to land in victory lane here at Bowman Gray. Here are your point standings coming into tonight's race. Mike Speeney up by 14 on Brandon Ward, Burt Myers, Skip Flores, Tim Brown, the rest of your top 5, but a little bit of a gap they have to make up to go catch up Ward and Speeney, who have been consistent all season long as lights are off on the modern Chevrolet pace car. And we are less than a lap away from Jimmy Absher pulling that car into its spot in the north turn and us going green for our first, the Twin 25 lap modifieds for the Brad's Golf Cart Modified Series.
25 laps, Twin 25s for the historic NASCAR Modified Division at Bowman Gray Stadium. Fans are on their feet. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. The green flag is out, and the yellow flag follows. Jumped start for Brandon Ward.
There were a lot of scattered race cars there towards the back of the field. It was a little bit accordioned.
Well, a 2-time winner this season on the inside. Lee Jeffries clawing his way back. First to the loud pedal right there is your leader. Now the battle ensues for second position. Myers to the inside of Lee Jeffries. Can he get Jeffries? He does. Move Myers into second. Now the battle is on behind him. Can Jeffries get down to the bottom? He does.
So your 2 winners from last week, second and third. Brandon Ward goes wide, though, in the south turn and just about gave an opening for Burt Myers as Myers begins to close in on the former champion, and a big stack up a little bit further back behind the leaders from right around 6th.
Oh, they're all clogged up towards the rear of the field right now. Some trouble, a little bit of tire smoke for the 51 car of Junior Snow. We're going to put it out right here. Snow's car has got some trouble. There was big contact back between Riley Neal and the number 4 of Jason Myers, as well as Bobby Meismer, Tim Brown. But there is the Wagner Appliances Brown Trout Septic 51 going to the pit area.
Saw the brake rotors on Snow's car cherry red. I almost wonder maybe if there might have been a brake issue on that car.
Like locked them up.
That's exactly what I'm thinking just on first glance, because I didn't see any particular tire rub or sort of fender making contact with the wheel on that car as I look past it. They're going to lay down some speedy dry just in case. You never know. And sometimes when you see smoke like that here at Bowman Gray, it is indicative of some sort of fluid that's been dropped on the racetrack. So the wonderful track safety crew here just taking the precaution to make sure that they don't have to worry about anything. Because if there is fluid on this racetrack, you know pretty quickly, because normally when one driver hits it, it becomes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 very, very quickly. So avoiding that problem altogether, the easy way to go. We've got plenty of time and lots that we can tackle under this call 811 before you did caution. But a tough break for Junior Snow. I talked to him earlier today, and he said, we've got a really, really good race car. We haven't touched our race setup in weeks. We just have not had any sort of luck.
None.
And the one time that he had track position, he said a few weeks ago he got caught up in the stack up in the north turn that also got Tim Brown as well. So just a case of bad luck continuing for Junior Show, who said, if we can figure out qualifying, we'll be okay. Didn't quite figure out qualifying tonight. Ends up with bad luck early in this race. Still an opportunity to get that car fixed, but just that's a driver that could use a golden horseshoe as lights go off the modern Chevrolet pace car.
Remember, we have no double file restarts for these Twin 25s. Single file might present a little more physicality. Fans in the stands know it, including Kip Childers from the Cars Tour that just texted me and Pike and was like, hey, we're here in turn 1 watching it. You got to love that. And my good friend for a long time from the Speed 51 days, and actually Joe Bessie days, Mike Twist is in the house as well, and with his wife, and just loving the fact that so many people coming to the stadium, new ones, old ones, people that have their seats here for 50 years.
Restart comes on lap 3. Brandon Ward and Burt Myers back to it. The two most recent track champions here at the stadium, racing for first and second, starting to gap everybody a little bit further back. It was not a good start for Chris Fleming, who gives up about a car length here as Mike Speeney continues to pressure him for the 4th spot. Jeffrey's now starting to fade. Burt Myers chasing history, chasing Brandon Ward, and trying to take away the race lead early in the going.
Burt Myers in the tire tracks of that Kevin Powell Motorsports number 04, the car that won twice at the beginning of the season. Now the battle is on, and big contact between the 16 and the 10. The points leader is Speeney.
It was just out of frame, and I think Fleming just drove right up into Speeney in the south turn, and they checked up big time behind him. Fleming was able to take the spot. Jason Myers got underneath. Now Riley Neal trying to work underneath Mike Speeney, but Speeney lost a heap of track position, and those could be points, and those could be big points on double points night. Let's remind you, double points for this race and the other modified Twin 25 coming up later tonight. So the top 3 now separated here as you get a good look at Speeney trying to race his way back up towards the front. He currently sits 7th as Riley Neal makes the pass. And now, how about Polly Hartwig trying to get underneath him? The Galloway, New Jersey native, famous modified family coming here to race at the stadium and putting on a pretty good show for these fans.
There is Myers in the tire tracks of Brandon Ward. Now he pokes to the bottom. Myers to the bottom. The battle for the lead in the north turn. Oh, some good, clean driving right there by the Walnut Cove, North Carolina driver. And now Myers in the tire tracks again of Ward. Fans sense that it was coming. And the big battles are going on behind them as well as the sun sets here in Winston-Salem. 10 laps on the board. 11 laps on the board for race leader Brandon Ward.
Approaching halfway in this first Twin 25 lapper for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. Brandon Ward with the lead. Big shove from Burt Myers in the middle of the north turn. Lap traffic just ahead of the race leaders. They'll put Crab Smith a lap down in the next handful of laps or so. And this battling between Ward and Myers has allowed Lee Jeffries to close in. He's now back maybe about a car length or so. This has helped him significantly as Smith will go down to the inside. The leaders will make their way around the outside, and that actually worked out really well there. Jeffries caught him in a pretty good spot, but then couldn't get going down the back straightaway, so he loses a little bit of time, a little bit of ground to the front 2.
Myers' car looks like it's better overall. I think right now we're going to see Brandon Ward kind of playing that defense that we saw, and you so eloquently put last week that Lee Jeffries masterfully did on his way to that first win of the season, and he's in defense mode right now, making sure that he gets hit square, because he knows that orange bumper is coming.
And remember whose bumper got into who at the end of the Hayes Jewelers 200 a few weeks ago. The roles were reversed. It was Brandon Ward that got
they
into
both hit
Myers.
each other.
Right.
They both, let's be fair.
Right. But still, there was contact. There's contact now. But you have to believe somewhere in the back of his mind, Bert's thinking about that a little bit. So they continue to play bumper tag at the front of this field. 17 laps on the board.
Spin in the north turn. We've got a few of them stacked up, but it all started with Tim Brown, who got into Paulie Hartwig, the third entering the north turn, sent the 14-year-old driver for a spin cycle. The 73 not very happy with Tim Brown. He's trying to get his spot back in front of the 83. Red number 73, not happy with the number 83 in the north turn.
So frustration for Paulie Hartwig. Slate Myers also got caught up in that. So I guess, that was a wreck for the young drivers here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Yeah, some youth gone wild. But, hey, Paulie Hartwig, they're talking right now. They're side by side right now in turn 1 and turn 2 is the 73 and Tim Brown. The veteran not liking the fact that the 14-year-old is showing his displeasure after getting spun from contact by Tim Brown entering the north turn. What a way to start out your Bowman Gray Stadium debut. The 73 getting spun by the all-time greatest modified racer here and all-time most winningest driver, Tim Brown.
And the rules here at Bowman Gray, if you are involved in a caution and your car comes to a rest, if you stop moving, doesn't matter what happens, you go to the rear of the field. So we would expect Paulie Hartwig to go back there.
Now, we talked about the wins list right there, Pike. On your screen, you're seeing the modified wins list. And look at that sunset, too. Oh, God, I'm distracted. 99 wins for Burt Myers in this division, 100 overall. But tonight would be Burt Myers' 100th modified race win, and that would be something special. We're going to come to one to go here. Something to keep an eye out on as well is Mike Speeney now has fallen back to the 7th position. Your points leader, who has finished no worse than 4th. It's like 4th, 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 2nd, 4th, 2nd, 2nd, 4th. It's been unbelievable for the driver, the number 10.
7 laps to go when we get the green flag, and Speeney's back in 7th because of that contact with Chris Fleming earlier in this race. The Madhouse Classic winner back in February, and Speeney got into it in the south turn. Speeney ended up on the outside, lost some track position. So work to do for Speeney to try and maintain that top 5 streak.
Here we go. 18 laps on the board. Green flag back out. Great jump by Brandon Ward at the front of this field. Single file restarts. They all are single file around the famed quarter-mile oval.
That was as good of a restart, I think, as I've seen in the modifieds this year from Brandon Ward. The other contributing factor, even though he's starting to make up the ground, Burt Myers was all kinds of sideways trying to get back to the loud pedal when he got going on that restart, but he started to close it in. Give that car a few laps. It does seem to come to life, and more chrome horn action from Burt Myers here as we approach 5 laps to go.
Myers all over him, dipping the left wheels into the grass ever so slightly out of turn number 2. Now the orange bumper tip, tip, tap to the back of Brandon Ward.
We've gone well past the 1 and 2 and 3, and Brandon Ward just about lost it there. He got on the concrete and lost the left rear of the car and had to gather it, save it back up. There's another shot from Burt Myers as Brandon Ward continues to hang on.
Tattoo you to the backside of Ward. Now he gets into him in the south turn, side by side. A drag race to the north turn. Myers on the inside. Ward fighting hard on the outside. Fans are cheering. Burt Myers to the lead.
Burt Myers in front, runs right over the concrete, is willing to cut it as tight as it can be, and Mike Speeney has come just about to a complete stop and gets it back going.
Your points leader.
Speeney and Jason Myers is also around on the back straightaway as well in the grass.
What was the yellow for is the question. Was it for Myers? Was it for Speeney? Speeney was slowed down. He is your points leader right now. He was in the 7th position. He would move up to 6th if that was not deemed a caution for him. This will be interesting, folks. Myers was around in the grass. Flat right rear tire, though, we are told for Mike Speeney he's going to have to go behind. No, I don't know. Let's see. He's staying out on the racetrack right now.
This is a case where if you think you can make it, I certainly understand the logic to try and stay out if you get to keep your track position. If the race official set him up that way, and we're already 1 to go. So,
but if the tire is flat, he doesn't stand a chance here. We're getting a look at it right now. on the front straightaway out of the booth, and it looks like the tire is down.
It's
His
definitely
right rear
down.
is definitely
No
down.
doubt.
He's going to try to hang on. The driver, the black number 10, going to the rear of the field. Your points leader with trouble, with 2 laps to go. Mike Speeney in trouble. Your points leader, double points. This is going to shake it up.
We go back to green flag racing. Burt Myers chasing history. Brandon Ward trying to get the lead back away. But Burt with a pretty good jump on that restart. As he gets going, he started to get Brandon Ward by maybe a car length or so, and he will ride to the white flag as the sun begins to set over the Madhouse.
An orange sky behind the famed field house here at Bowman Gray Stadium. And tonight, it's the orange bumper that paved the way. Win number 100 in the modified division. 101. He's tied for the all-time wins list. Burt Myers has done it.
Another week, another historic milestone for Burt Myers. 100 wins in the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, 101 in his career all-time at Bowman Gray. And Mike Speeney not happy about something, continuing to circulate around the racetrack here as the rest of the cars pull into the work area.
Folks, we watch history every week at Bowman Gray Stadium. Every time you come in here and it's quiet and there's not a soul here, you hear the wind, you hear the flagpoles, and you just feel it. But what you feel on a Saturday night with 15 to 17,000 people and historic moments like this is something that you can't duplicate anywhere in the world. Some love it. Some hate it. Some pick on it. Some criticize Bowman Gray Stadium. But its greatness is undeniable. And the greatness of the driver of the number 1 is undeniable as well. He now joins the Rocket Tim Brown with 101 wins atop the all-time wins list and pulls into Carolina Woodfloor's victory lane with his 100th modified win. This is incredible here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Let's go down trackside to announcer Randy Pulliam, who is with our newest member of the 100 Wins Club in the Modifieds.
Randy Smith has a drawstring bag. Inside that bag are chips with the numbers 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Burt will reach into that bag. The number he draws will determine how the field is inverted for the second 25-lapper, courtesy of the elite underground utility Madhouse Scramble. Keep your eyes on the video board. We'll see momentarily where Burt will start for race number 2. He draws number 8. Burt Myers will start 8th in the second event. Here he comes, race fans. Burt Myers. Burt, let's head around here so our folks from Flow Racing upstairs can see you and around the world. Burt, now officially you joined the 100 Club in the modified division. I like to call it 25 miles of checkers.
Can you believe this? I used to sit right here, 5 years old. I always thought I knew I'd race here. I didn't know I'd be almost 50 still doing it. I'm just so blessed, man. This team, this family. I need a minute. This is... Dillner confused everybody with the whole 100, counting the sportsman win. We got it now, though.
You had it. That was an interesting battle. Good battle with Brandon there.
Yeah. If you were here the first race of the year, you know what that was about. I didn't rake him. I moved him. Same thing he did to me. Brandon gave me thumbs up. As far as I'm concerned, we're good. I knew how good our car was. We were off just a little bit qualifying today, so I knew I had to make it up. These guys gave me a hot rod. Man, 100 wins. Can you believe it?
100 wins for Burt Myers. Burt, in our Bowman Gray flashback tonight, we went way back to 1980, and Philip Smith pulled off the double that night. It's hard to do, but you drew the best you could do to try to make it happen in race number 2.
Yeah, I'd love to do it, man. That's one of the things I haven't done over here is win 2 in the same night. We're going to give it a shot. We really are, but we're going to soak this one in, man. I'm telling you, I'm so excited. Man, I can't, you know me enough to know I'm at a loss of words. Just the support I've had my whole racing career from my mom, my dad, now my wife, my kids, my family, this group of people behind me, all these decals on this car, these fans, thank you so much for 100 wins at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Bert, let's go over here and pick up that winner's trophy, signifying win number 100. Bert Myers making his way over to the Carolina Wood Floors winner's circle to pick up the winner's trophy. Carolina Wood Floors, open your doors.
Gary Myers down there just out of surgery yesterday. His father, what a night here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and we're just getting started. Sportsman 100 is next under the sunset here. Bowman Gray Stadium. Let's go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
Starting 17th in the Radical Fire Protection, Twin City Trading, Hot Rod from Winston-Salem is number 40 of Chase Lewis. Rolling off 16th in the Brake Buddies, Edward & Sons Heavy Equipment Rental LLC Chevrolet out of Winston-Salem, the number 8 of Tyler Kepley. Starting 15th in the Squeaky Clean Express, Eveready Mixed Concrete, Port City Hot Rod out of Louisville to number 0 of Kirk Sheets. Starting 14th in the Benchmark Abrasives, Avery's Tavern, Howe Racing Machine out of Mooresville to number 24 of A.J. Burnett. Starting 13th in the City Coolers, Carolina Cowboy Chevrolet from Lexington to number 15 of T. Dawson. Rolling off 12th in the Wade Interiors, 51 Race Works, Hamke Race Cars from King, North Carolina, the number 51 of Austin Taylor. Starting 11th in the Sykes Metal Roofing, Tipper Enterprises Chevrolet out of Winston-Salem to number 28 of Billy Gregg. And now your top 10. Starting 10th in the Wade Interiors.
Welcome back to Flow Racing's coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where Bert Myers has picked up modified win number 100 of his career. Dillner, I think it says a lot that down in Victory Lane to present him with the trophy were none other than Joey Denowitz and Steve O'Donnell. That's how big this night is.
Hey, NASCAR knows it. They love this place. They always have. NASCAR didn't come back to this place. NASCAR never left. That's a thing to keep in mind. This has been NASCAR since 1949, as grassroots as it gets. And now, we talk about the modified division so much. But the sportsman division, Bert Myers has his one win here in the sportsman division. This is a very important class. It's something that was very important to Bill France, very important to Alvin Hawkins. Last year we saw it in the NASCAR banquet with Zach Orr, winning the Division II NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series championship. But this division puts on a show. And last week was a show that nobody at the Madhouse will ever forget here at Bowman Gray Stadium. The leader with a lap car getting tangled. Wilmoth was in his way. The contact. Tommy Neal spins. Comes just feet away from a win. And he was not happy afterwards. Showing his displeasure was Tommy Neal to Marty Wilmoth. Zach Orr snuck by for the win. Orr, last year's champion of this division, trying to claw his way back up the standings right now. And this is the night he could do it. Double points night. There are your points for the Sportsman division here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Chase Robertson leads by 20 over Connor Brandt, Zach Orr, Sterling Plemons, Ryan Robertson, your top five as you get a good look at both the sunset and the skyline. Worth noting that on that shot of the old Winston Tower, the Treliant Federal Credit Union building, which will be the premier partner on the Night of Destruction later on in the year, but that yellow and red and blue lighting setup was the exact same one that they had the night of the Clash back in February. So even the city of Winston-Salem knows that it's race night here at the Madhouse.
Let's give you the starting lineup for the Sportsman 100, the big dog for this division. The lights are flickering on and off here, putting on a show. Let's give you that lineup right now, starting on the pole. The young driver in the Camnall Construction number 7. It's Connor Branch to the outside, a winner so far this year in the number 77 Dylan Ward Race Cars machine. It's Dylan Ward.
Starting in third, the number 23 machine out of Wahlberg, North Carolina, racing for East Coast Wings and Grill. It's Ryan Robertson, and starting to his outside in the number 31 car, also from Wahlberg, also racing for East Coast Wings and Grill and Jerry Hunt Supercenter, Chase Robertson.
Starting fifth tonight, 555, because the number 55 starts fifth. The Pulse Vodka machine for last year's champion, Zach Orr, to the outside. The driver in the 03 we call the Rockstar. The trailers of East Coast machine, it's Sterling Plemons.
Starting in seventh, the number 81 car to Walkertown, North Carolina, racing for Tommy Watts at Construction. It's Zach Clifton. And starting in eighth, driving the number 21 Harkey Litigation machine out of Royal Hall, North Carolina, it's the Tiger, Tommy Neal.
Starting ninth, it's the good guy, the number 38, the Auto Supply of Thomasville car, it's Mitch Gales. To the outside, the Wade Interiors, number 12, it's Justin Donkey Strong Taylor.
Starting in 11th, the number 28 machine, the Privacy Fence Solutions car to Lexington, North Carolina. It's the show, Billy Gregg. And starting in 12th, and the number 51 machine out of King, North Carolina, racing for Wade Interiors, it's Austin Taylor.
A tip of the cap to the driver starting in lucky position number 13. That is the 15 Carolina Cowboys machine for T. Dawson. And to the outside, I smell that Salmon River maple product. A.J. Burness.
Starting in 15th, it's the Zero Hero, piloting the number 0 squeaky clean car out of Poptown, North Carolina, Kirk Sheets. And starting in 16th, it's the dog, Kyler Kepley.
Starting 17th, the number 40 of Chase Lewis. To the outside, Kid Dynamite, Justin Cummins, Chris Taylor, and the Little Donuts machine rounds out your field of 19 Sportsman 100 race cars,
who qualified for time because they are running the 100 wrappers. So we've got a field set on time. We've got some of the best in this titanic fight here. Division II racing on the national ladder. The big show tonight, 100 laps for the first time in 2025. It's the Sportsman division taking off for 100 trips around the Madhouse, and it was a good jump there for Connor Branch, who gets away pretty quickly. Dylan Ward, though, he's brought the good 77 tonight, gives chase immediately.
Yeah, renumbered number 77 right there. The Sterling Plemons, Dylan Ward race cars machine in second place. Single file now, your first 15 cars, it looks like. A little bit of a battle about back there with Mitch Gales and Austin Taylor, but right now single file up front for Branch.
So top four, pretty much right there to it. Got to go pretty deep in the field to find any sort of battles. These drivers getting ready to settle in, and I think that's a big theme for a lot of them. I spoke with Chase Robertson in particular, and he said the biggest thing I care about tonight is track position, because if I've got that allows me to control how hard I have to go. I don't want my pace in this race to be in the hands of somebody else. Right now he's in a pretty good spot running in third.
Sure is right now, and Chase Robertson has been a very smooth race car driver. Speaking of smooth is the driver up front. Not a lot of talk about this kid the last 2 years, because it's been pretty much the Chase Robertson, Zach Orr show, okay? Or maybe some of the other theatrics throughout the division and, you know, little viral moments that we've seen here in the Sportsman division. But Connor Branch, 7 races this year, 7 top 10 finishes. He's got a win. He is the quiet kid outside the race car, and he's doing it quiet inside the race car with a lot of success.
Maybe quiet in that sense, but pretty loud when you look at the point standings. Right there, second with a win already. Came into this evening 20 points back of Chase Robertson, who immediately starts to get at the rear bumper of Dylan Ward and try and move Ward out of the way.
This is a good little battle right here. Dylan Ward, hey, he's a guy that you just don't mess with outside of the race car, but a very clean race car driver and one of the greats here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Doesn't get a lot of credit. You know, his family has quite the pedigree here, of course. You know, his father, you know, many multi-time blunderbuss division champion, and, you know, the 77 has been up front. It's got to win. He's got to win so far this year. That's when they had the little 77 on it, where they just, like, kind of put it on. It looked like Scotch tape, masking tape when they put it on earlier this year.
And he also has the biggest prize in late model stock car racing to his name. Winner of the Valley Star Credit Union 300 in 2023. That memorable finish, door-to-door with Landon Huffman.
His brother, good. Yeah. And there is your leader, the Camnall Construction Machine. Now the battle is on for second. Robertson peeking to the inside, just a little slight nudge. He wants to do it the right way. That's the Robertson way in that number 31.
Chase said he'd probably go about 80% if he had good track position for a good chunk of this, but then turn up the wick when he needed to. Or if the car was just sort of rolling around like it has the last few weeks, where it's just so fast that he doesn't even have to worry about it. I think, and we may be in that case, because that car has been on rails the last few weeks. They have not touched the setup at all here. And he even said that he thought the colder conditions tonight were in a bit of a cold front here in Winston-Salem. It's been colder than usual, to the tune of about 15 degrees, especially now. Not going to be too particularly warm in the air, so that gives you a little bit more grip. That allows you to start with higher tire pressures. And now we get our first call, 811, before you did.
It's the dog. It's the dog. There he is. Kepley, the reason for that caution.
Kyler Kepley brings out the yellow. I also love that the biggest partner for the dog is Bark Buddies.
That's his wife's,
part of it, right?
Yeah.
So that, plus in this year 2025, where we've got Parker Kligerman making the dog a regular thing on the Xfinity broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm here. I feel like, because here's the thing.
Well, he's our dog, man.
Right. No, and
he's just a good dude. He's just a fun kid to hang around.
That goes exactly to the point I was going to make. I think every short track has somebody that fits that profile. Every single track in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series, I bet good money you could go around to some of the locals that show up every week, and they can tell you who is your dog at Bowman Gray. That I think is a big thing.
This guy could be a lot of people's dog. He's always walking around with no sleeves. He's keeping it sleeveless like Jason Meyer style every time here at Bowman Gray Stadium. But last year's champ, Zach Orr, who hasn't had exactly the season he's wanted here at Bowman Gray Stadium, trying to defend that title. The cone is out. This is a chance for these sportsman drivers to show their moxie, not only a 100-lapper, but they get to choose inside or outside of the cone where they would like to start. The Robertsons stay to the bottom behind leader Branch. Move the Rockstar up behind his team car. Team cars now on the outside of row 1 and 2.
Team cars on the inside, too, with Chase and Ryan Robertson. Second and third car in the inside row behind Branch. So we could see a lot of teamwork here amongst the top 6 cars, maybe even further back. It doesn't seem like too many takers up on that high line. I see T. Dawson making his way up top, but should be a good battle here between the 7 and 77 as we go back to green on lap 16 of 100. Good jump for both of them. Chase Robertson going to look immediately to find his spot on the inside, as does Sterling Plemons. So Plemons gets down to the bottom. Now look at Robertson looking to the inside of Dylan Ward.
Big battle here. The battle for the bottom is on. Ward can't get there. Robertson has it off of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. He wants that number 2 spot, and he wants it bad.
Drag race down the back straightaway. Ward will give the spot up at this point in the race. Smarter to not lose that much track position. So Connor Branch, Chase Robertson, Dylan Ward, Sterling Plemons, and Ryan Robertson, your top 5 is good battles starting to develop a little bit further back in the field, but at this point, a lot of these drivers up front just trying to maintain their equipment. Long way to go. 80 laps left in this first 100-lap sportsman race of the season.
Oh, we've got a crash. Just as we look up here, Kid Dynamite and T. Dawson, and it looks like Chris Taylor, the Little Donuts machine, as well.
Chris Taylor not doing donuts through the grass so that we can have more Little Donuts here, right?
Yeah, I mean, keeping it straight. That's more like a churro.
Perhaps. I see the logic there.
Cake. No, that's cake. Perhaps.
Oh, man.
Oh, gosh, that went deep.
Ooh, that was good. I give you credit for that.
Music lover, sorry.
Well, I mean, hey, the sun has gone down and the moon has come up.
And Burt Myers left with the cup, but he's got another 25 lapper to get another one.
He's racing and pacing and hugging the turns.
Thinking for someone, he still
burns because he's going the distance and he's going for speed. We might as well just take this song at this point, shoot, right? So, cake references aside.
It's just a great band. Sorry.
Yes.
But hey, this is the Sportsman 100.
So who will have their cake and eat it too by ending up in
right now? It's Connor Branch.
Right. As T. Dawson will take his car to the work area. I saw damage at least on, I think, the left and maybe the right front. He was one of the ones that got caught up. He sort of got pinned by the fence in the north turn.
You know, let's take a look at what happened last year in this race before we get the cone, which I think will come out. Look at this. What a battle it was. Tommy Neal getting into the backside of Chase Robertson to take the lead of the Sportsman 100. But then what happens next? Everybody thought it was Robertson getting into the back of him, but really it wasn't. There was no contact. Neal spins, and Robertson holds off Zach Orr for the win.
You know what's crazy to me looking back at this replay is that this place looks so much different now that we have the safer barriers in, and it changes the way you drive this place too, right? Put them in for the Clash, completely took out the old guardrail. You can buy pieces on pitshop.com, I believe, if you are so inclined of the old guardrail. So you can literally own a piece of history, and in comes the safer barriers for the Clash, and they've stayed for the local season, and it changes the way you approach the corners. So we talked about it a little bit over the course of the season, that it did narrow the entry into the north turn, turn 3, and narrow the exit out of turn 4 by just a little bit. It's not as wide as it used to be.
No, it isn't. And, you know, I really think it's more exaggerated on the exit of turn number 4. But look at that 81 car. Let's take note right now of that number 81 car of Zach Clifton, who started 7th. And he is up to, sixth spot. That doesn't sound
I don't know why
impressive,
you're asking me for
He
math,
dropped back further at the beginning of that race, and he has been making hay, has the number 81. Cone right now. Leader takes the bottom. Chase Robertson fakes him. Looked like he was going to take the bottom, the top, but he didn't. He took to the bottom. So now move Ward up to the top. Team cars up top again. Can those team cars team up on Connor Branch? It's going to be the battle to the bottom, as it is each and every week at Bowman Gray Stadium.
You know, just worth noting before we go back to green here, one fan of Chris Taylor driving through the grass, Kip Childress made the point that if you go in the grass, it's a great way to cool off your tires, which you don't necessarily need this evening because it is so cool outside, but never hurts. If you get the opportunity, right?
I mean, you could always want to cool off your tires.
Every opportunity you can get, as one car is receiving the black flag, and it is one of Zach Clifton or Zach Orr, I believe. Maybe Zach Orr, perhaps?
I think Zach Orr is getting black flagged. This is big, folks. Zach Orr has gotten black flagged. He is now racing past this pace car, and now will have to go to the pit area. Big development here on double points night. Zach Orr going behind the field house. What is wrong on that number 55?
Zach Orr, who came into this evening third in points, 162 to Chase Robertson's 189. And worth noting as well that caution laps do count in this 100-lapper for the Sportsman division.
Let's look at the Sportsman standings right there. Orr was up to third after his triumph last week, scratching and clawing his way back up to the top. So let's see. We'll look at the exit of the pits and see if Orr makes it back out. Lights are out on the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. Here comes Zach Orr. He will return. Or will he? They're checking him right now. The officials, the thumbs up is what we see. But he's being held right now. So he would go a lap down.
Big stack up there for Connor Branch.
Well, the leader's supposed to go, okay? And Connor Branch is the leader. He's supposed to fire first in that box. Dylan Ward fired first. So I believe Zach Orr would be one lap down. He rejoins the field now.
Did get back out on the racetrack, though. Did get back out on the racetrack here off that that missed restart, I guess.
27 laps on the board, though, Pike.
Big battle's coming now. Big tire slide there. It took a lot for Connor Branch to get his car going, but eventually he did. Pinched down a little bit there by Dylan Ward. Ward didn't get a good run through the center of the south turn. Now that he's going to try and pull the crossover on Connor Branch. Chase Robertson to the rear bumper of Dylan Ward, working his way underneath the Rockstar, Sterling Clemens, and good battles all throughout the top 5.
The Rockstar files in behind Robertson. The next side-by-side battle is further back. The 81, the driver we were talking about, Zach Clifton, on the outside, doing it the hard way. Justin Taylor sideways underneath him. Give the spot to Clifton.
So Clifton clears Donkey Strong, gets his way up to 6. Now sets chase to Ryan Robertson. Big shot there from Dylan Ward, who managed to get around Chase Robertson and make his way back up to 2nd as Connor Branch continues to pace this field.
Tommy Neal right now making his way by Justin Taylor. That number 12 is evil sideways right now. That thing is so loose and hard to drive. It looks like something might be askew on the number 12 car. Maybe something in the rear end of that race car causing that car to handle so bad. There goes Billy Gregg, the show by him right now in the number 28. Battle is on up front, though. Branch has pressure behind him from Ward and from Chase Robertson.
Branch has had pressure from Ward and Robertson. It's not a new thing. It's been pretty consistent throughout the opening third of this race. We're there already. 33 laps down, 66 to go. As Connor Branch continues to hang on to this spot, and I wonder how much you're going to press the issue if you're Dylan Ward. We know Chase Robertson doesn't necessarily want to press the issue, but his thought on this does not reflect everybody else's thought in the top 5 on this. So be intriguing to see how they handle things.
All these cars stuck to the bottom using the light gray strip you see at the bottom of the racetrack, known as the Turtles. 36 laps on the board for the law offices of John Barrow Street Stock Division with Connor Branch, Sportsman Division. Senior moment. It's okay. We all get them.
Continuing to work their way around the racetrack. I had one too, so yes.
That's okay.
And you made a fair point. That
Dylan
Ward, the brother of 2023 Valley Star Credit Union 300 champion Trevor Ward, who did have a side-by-side finish with Landon Huffman that was fabulous.
Well,
so
that was one of the best finishes to a Valley Star Credit Union 300 I think we've ever seen.
Yes.
One of the great races here on our lineup of NASCAR racing on Flow Racing. Of course, each and every week live from the Madhouse. If you're a fan that's in Michigan, you can tune in to this great facility, as well as so much more. Cars Tour, Snowball Derby at the end of the year. We welcome Slinger Super Speedway from Wisconsin to our Sunday night pavement lineup. So much dirt racing, so much pavement racing. Flow Racing's got it going on.
Slinger Nationals on Flow for the first time in 2025. Sign
I'll be there.
Up. Oh, I wish I could be.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I'm going to be jealous that you are.
Yeah, I mean, Slinger is a great place. You know, you go up there, eat some cheese curds, a brat, a beer, sit in the grandstands. I'm going to probably be up there working, obviously, but, you know, that's my memories of going to Slinger Speedway. But, hey, talking about a slightly less banked track right now, the one you're seeing on your screen.
Perhaps.
Yes. With 59 laps to go for you mathematicians here in the Sportsman 100. Connor Branch, Dylan Ward, Chase Robertson, Sterling Clemens, Ryan Robertson, Zach Clifton, Tommy Neal, Billy Gregg.
It almost looks like, as they work their way around the lap traffic of Chris Taylor, that Taylor may have bunched up the top 5 there. They were a little bit more spread out, but the yellow flag is out. Call
that'll bunch them up
before you did caution. Yeah, that definitely will bring everybody together.
Oh, what a beautiful night here at the stadium. Sun has now gone down, and the football field here at Bowman Gray Stadium is such a fun place. And this today, me and Pike and Hudson back here, my son, we had a lot of fun kicking around the soccer ball. I know James Pike has been dying to tell everybody about his attire tonight. James, you know, take your minute to do so.
May or may not be wearing a replica of the late 1970s jersey that the folks at the venerable and famed Tottenham Hotspur Football Club wore once upon a time. The Lily Whites, who won the Europa League for the first time in 41 years on Wednesday. So in my corner of the world, we're celebrating, but, you know, good times to be had And I had a lot of fun doing that, too. Have a lot of fun being a soccer guy, and got the chance to go study in London, in part because of Tottenham, too. So it's a little bit more than just a big championship. It's a big trophy. But that was fun to be wearing this and kicking this around as we get the choose cone here on the front stretch.
Deja vu all over again. Ward to the outside, team car to the outside behind him. Chase Robertson stuck on the bottom. You, of course, the leader is going to choose the bottom. Now Zach Clifton moving up in that 6th position on the outside. Can Tommy Neal shoehorn his way into the fray? He is in the 7th position.
Who's been waiting? Who's been waiting? That's the question I want to know.
They've all been stretching their legs here and kind of showing some pace.
And
some
patience.
calmness.
And patience. Yes.
The patience will go out the window soon as we come to the green flag, and we'll click off lap 46. Branch, the first to the loud pedal. He has the preferred spot on the inside. Dylan Ward will now try to shove his 77 down to the bottom, does so. Oh, gets into him. Robertson now to the bottom. Robertson has position on him, but Ward hangs on off the turn 4.
Really good work there from Dylan Ward to maintain the track position as Chase Robertson throws the front bumper to the rear of Ward's car once again. Slow car down on the inside. Billy Gregg not getting around at pace here. A little bit about half a track away from the race leaders. We'll see whether or not he can pick it back up as Connor Branch continues to lead and Chase Robertson and Dylan Ward continue to go at it. But Gregg slows, comes right by the pace car in the north turn, and it brings out the call. 811 before you did caution flag on lap 48, I believe.
I like what Billy Gregg did. He tried to pull into the infield, and he was going to try to get out of the way so they didn't have to throw the yellow. A veteran move there, real classy old school move there. But now he will bring the Sykes Metal Roofing 28 into the pit area. You saw him kissing Kyler Staley. Hey, let's do a quick, no, I think we're going to throw the cone out right now. I was going to say, we're coming to halfway here. I think we're going to throw the cone out this lap.
And worth noting, and a great point from Justin Mincy, that we talk about how drivers are going to strategically approach this 100-lapper. Tommy Neal, in the pre-race interview that he did trackside with our PA announcers here, Bowman Gray, said he'd wait until about the 25 to go marker, which is about the same time that Chase Robertson told me he'd be looking to try and make moves in this. So should be fun to see how that pans out. Although Robertson's been going properly hammer and tong with Dylan Ward to the point where, if you've noticed it, you'll get a good shot of it here as we stay on the speed shot, but there is some damage there to the front bumper. Really, really slight crinkle right in the middle of the splitter on Robertson's machine. Not that aerodynamics matter, but
55, we're just getting told, has Higgy from the top rope back here. The 55 is now on the lead lap. Big on double points night with the lucky dog. That caution definitely helping out the 55 of Zach Orr.
A lot of love for high-speed Higgy, Andrew.
Gotta love Higgy,
our field director here this evening.
So cool that he's out here,
I
man.
know.
Like, Higgy and I have been friends for a long time, and we don't get to work together enough. It sucks.
Got to see him at Wilkesboro a little bit on Sunday. He came through. And
I mean, the guy came through like a tornado. He had a camera in his hand. He's working left and right. He was like creating his own vortex.
Sir, how do you do so many things so well at the same time? Why are you just excellent at everything? Because he is. And even though you probably don't know that you've seen the way he shoots B-roll, you probably have, and you just don't know. We're lucky to have this evening as the choose cone is out. Zach Orr back on the racetrack, back on the lead lap, and let's see where our leaders decide to go and if we get any variation in the sort of side-by-side order that we've had as we approach lap 52 here, just after halfway in this 100-lapper for the Sportsman.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to see any variation. Oh, as I say that, we see a variation.
You jinxed it.
I jinxed it.
You
Dylan Ward to the bottom.
Straight up jinxed
to the top is Chase Robertson. He's going to go for it on the outside, down teen cars in the next row. Tommy Neal came into the pit area. He is now in the back of the field in that number 21.
And going to the outside along with Zach Orr, now back on the lead lap. So there's absolutely going to be some fireworks, I think, towards the back as we get set for another restart to come on lap 52. Good jump there. Actually, really good jump for Connor Branch. Can Robertson get down in front of Ward? Yes, he can. Great work from Chase Robertson to take second away from Dylan Ward. Sterling Clemens in fourth. Ryan Robertson fifth. Top five trying to move away as Chase Robertson starts looking to make a move on Connor Branch for the race lead.
Branch and Robertson. That's been a combination we've seen a lot. Two young race car drivers putting on a show towards the rear of the field. A lot of action going on as the Zero Hero. Oh boy, he was the high side tickler there.
Zero Hero trying to drift around Bowman Gray Stadium, but keeps it pointed in the right direction. Meanwhile, back towards the front, good battles with Robertson and Branch still ensuing.
A little bit of bumper stack up in the north turn. The fans are on their feet now as Robertson, one of the fan favorites, one of the Safe Flight Auto Glass Repair most popular drivers here at Bowman Gray Stadium, to the backside of Connor Branch, who's holding a pretty wheel, and right now that wheel got jerked out of him a little bit from a bumper shot from Robertson.
Robertson's given a few of those shots. Will Branch be able to hang on, especially as we get deeper into this race, the pressure ramps up? I think that's just something you have to watch for, is that a lot of these drivers are not showing all of their cards yet. That should change pretty soon.
Oh, man, watching Robertson try to work it there, coming off of the turn, the way he was setting up Connor Branch there to try to get a good run and try to get off of him underneath the turn, kind of going in a little higher, arcing it right there into the bottom, trying to get to the loud pedal there and get that little bit of real estate. It's really interesting to watch him trying to set up Branch. And Branch, for a young kid, he knows what is happening right behind him.
I think these have been two of the fastest cars in this division to start the season, so it's definitely not a matter of speed, but it might not mean much now. Chase Robertson finally gets his opportunity to go to the bottom and will now lead this lap. Will he take sole possession of it? There, contact between Dylan Ward and Connor Branch. Branch tried to get down in front, keep second, and Dylan Ward was having absolutely none of it. Now Sterling Clemens will go to the bottom to take third away. Then he goes up the racetrack and just about put Connor Branch in the fence.
All things go from bad to worse, from the penthouse to the outhouse for Connor Branch. He files in now in the sixth position, shaking things up big at the front of the field as Chase Robertson's now your leader. Dylan Ward now in second. Ryan Robertson in third. And the rock star is up to fourth. But he's got a mirror full of the number 81 of Zach Clifton.
Zach Clifton with plenty of experience and wins, especially in this division at the Madhouse, and starting to go to work on Sterling Clemens for the fourth spot. The front three spaced out a little bit. Not many battles up there. It's all eyes here for P4 as one black car tries to go after the other.
I'll tell you what, you see right there, the 03 has left his entry and exit exposed, and that is giving hope to the bottom for Clifton. Clifton, if he could get a good run, he get to the bottom. He does there. Little bit of contact from those drivers. They tangle. Sheet metal flying here. Yellow flag is out.
How Sterling Clemens did not actually complete a spin is entirely beyond me, but to his great credit, did not come to a full stop on the racetrack. So wherever timing and scoring has him marked, he should be able to maintain his track position so long as track officials see no reason to caution him for any sort of hanging debris that may be on that car off the contact. We saw some piece of sheet metal come loose there. Couldn't tell what it was, but there was big contact there between Clifton and Clemens.
Yeah, none of them stopped there, so I don't know what's going to happen here. It's going to be interesting to see, but the yellow flag did come out. Robertson versus Ward, of course, a very familiar family story here. Mike and Dean battled in the blunderbuss division for years in the early 1990s. So the Buzz Bomber division, which is now the Stadium Stock division. But Dean, I'll tell you what, Dean Ward, nothing to take away from Mike Robertson, but Dean Ward is one of the more underrated drivers that wheeled cars here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Mike Robertson, unfortunately, very well known for a very viral YouTube video, but he was one heck of a racer himself. Justin Taylor going to the pit area.
No way Taylor was going to be able to stay out on the track with just about the entirety of the door loosened up there. Just, take us all, get it cut off, but beyond that. As we have a moment, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more action from Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing. Welcome back to coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina on Flow Racing. I'm James Pike. He's Matthew Dillner. We are 70 laps in to our 100-lap Sportsman feature, the big event of the night, and the choose cone is out. These drivers will pick where they restart next time by Matthew.
Well, the Sportsman 100, look at this all-time wins list. Tommy Neal, the active driver in the 21 with the most Sportsman 100 wins at 4. We're coming to the cone right now. Mark Knott, Michael Adams, wish he was here. Amber Lynn, both those drivers not racing this year. And good old Wayne Pack. How about it? The former Sportsman driver and raced modifieds as well. This is the 54th edition of a Sportsman 100 here at Bowman Gray. The choose cone is out. Robertson selected the inside. Ward to the outside. So Robertson's flanking the bottom of the infield. On the outside, Zach Clifton now up to 4th. Take note.
Everybody back on it on the restart here. Not really anywhere for Dylan Ward to go. Ryan Robertson tried to get there to second, couldn't make it happen, so we'll have to settle for 3rd. Connor Branch, meanwhile, trying to drive back up towards the front after he got punted and moved out of the lead not too long ago. Looking to the inside as Sterling Clemens still has the nose underneath. It makes contact with Clemens, and this time Clemens will go around, and they're going to pin Kirk Sheets right up against the safer barrier and bring out the call 811 before you did caution flag.
Look at that. Connor Branch started on the pole. Connor Branch led so much of this race. Now Connor Branch in the Malachi Crunch in the turn 1 and turn 2 wall, the zero hero as well. Things have come unraveled like the sheet metal on the left side of his car.
You can see the door caved in on Connor Branch's car, and you can see a lot more damage to the left side of that car. That car will be making a trip to the work area to get that sheet metal pulled away. No question about it. And right on cue, there goes Connor Branch back behind the field house.
Oh, boy, that was something else. Let's look at the replay on Flow Racing. As we see, well, it's already happened there, but, you know, a little bit of contact between those two cars going into the south turn.
And it was really Kirk Sheets was just trying to avoid it, was just trying to go to the outside, not trying to be a part of it, but just ran out of space at the wrong time. And that's really what caused the damage to Connor Branch's machine. Would have been relatively okay if not for that. But when Sheets got in there, that's what not only caused the damage to that right side door, but the left side door getting torn away. That happened on the contact too. There was an accordion effect into the side of Sterling Clemens' car.
Unfortunate for both of those drivers. They're both having such a great run.
Look at the aftermath there to see how it all panned out for those 3 drivers, as we are still waiting to see Connor Branch. Yes, now he has come back out onto the racetrack with fender peeled away. So no left side door number, just the roll cage, but enough car there to get back out on the racetrack. I see Donkey Strong 2, Justin Taylor, making his way back out. Kyler Ketley also out of the work area.
Chase Robertson, leader, 75 laps, 3/4 of the way through this 100-lapper here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Yellow flag is still out. We are counting these laps, but I'll tell you what, Dylan Ward sitting in that 2nd position. Do not count out this guy. Big Braun, he's a bull out there, but he could do so tap dancing like a ballerina. He's a race car driver, is Dylan Ward. Here comes Branch, Smokey to the outside, going into the pits.
So even more damage, I think, there for Connor Branch.
Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing. We'll be back with the last 24 laps. Welcome back to NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series Racing. Live on Flow Racing, I'm Matthew Dillner, joined by James Pike. Justin Mincy rolling the stats in the booth. The cone is out and the cone is down. Oh, the cone is – nobody hit it. It's just decided it was tired already in the sportsman race. Come on, Coney. Why are you taking a break on us?
Cone overboard.
I mean, get up.
Maybe down for the count here, but
I'll be back.
Yes, at some point. There we go. A little bit of help from his friends to get back up.
Matt Garrison, look at that style points for picking up that cone. Here we go. Back to the green flag we go. A very big restart here with Robertson on the inside. Ward with a great run on the outside into turn number 1. Side by side goes Robertson and Ward down the back straightaway, thrilling the fans into the north turn.
That was about as hard as I think I've seen Dylan Ward drive the entire night. Was dirt tracking it practically on the outside where a lot of drivers have struggled for grip and somehow managed to stay within touching distance and needs to clear Ryan Robertson and does. So now Ward in second, Robertson third, Clifton fourth. Yellow flag out. T. Dawson spun in the middle of the south turn.
Good old T. Dawson saying hello to Eric Messer down there in the turn and the track officials on the inside of the infield. It was getting good right there.
Was getting good. There's a look at T. Dawson's machine, the Carolina Cowboys car. Now missing a hood. A little bit of damage there to the left front as well. Splitter dragging right along the edge. So, Dawson will get the car back to the tail end of this field, and we'll see whether or not goes down pit road. Also, Connor Branch comes back out after getting some service in the work area, I believe, as well. See a few cars here sort of working their way through the grass, and there's a good look at Ryan Robertson's car.
Ryan Robertson, has had quite a season this year. But remember, folks, this guy can get it done. He's a race winner here at Bowman Gray Stadium. He has one win in the Sportsman 100. 2014 in May was his win. And good to see him back running full-time. This family, the Robertson family, has been an amazing family here in racing action at Bowman Gray Stadium. And, seeing, him towards the top of this point standings has been impressive as well.
Worth noting as these drivers come around for the choose that Ryan Robertson's win in a Sportsman 100 came on this very day 11 years ago, May 24th, 2014.
11 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right on the number.
Well, come on. Happy anniversary there, Ryan. Get up on the wheel. Let's go.
Maybe the 24th is good luck for the 23, perhaps.
Yeah,
we'll
perhaps.
See. Jimmy Asher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle into its place in the north turn. Chase Robertson gets back on the gas pedal. Dylan Ward did not get a good jump. Ryan Robertson's going to have an opportunity to drive down to the inside. Tries to loosen up Dylan Ward, and Dylan Ward hangs on to it and maintains second. Big drive there from Ward to keep P2.
How about Ryan Robertson with both left side tires in the grass? He wanted that real estate bad, and Ward shut the door and said,
Twisting and turning their way.
Also got
the final 15 laps at Bowman Gray. As Chase Robertson's beginning to extend that lead, I wonder how much those rear tires are suffering for the way that Dylan Ward has had to try as best he can to get back up to him as Zach Orr makes a pass for the fourth spot. Clifton now back to fifth. Tommy Neal quietly in sixth. Yellow flag out once again, and I believe it's for the bumper here. You might see it as Zach Orr passes it right there in the corner. Great work from Elgin Trailer to catch that right on the entry to turn one. But the Debris bringing out the caution on lap 85.
Pierre Debris.
No, Jacques Debris.
Jacques? Well, why is it Jacques? Why can't it be Pierre?
It can be Pierre, but Jacques was the
Jacques is the first one. You're right.
Jacques was the first. Also, you translate Jacques, and I think my bias towards Jacques would be a little bit obvious.
Tell me why.
It's literally French for James.
Oh, okay.
So
I took French for like 2 years in Catholic school, and I hated it. I only liked French. I should have kept on taking it because Marjorie Bournier was a foreign exchange student in high school, and she was so pretty. I could have used that. Marjorie Bournier, if you were watching in France, in all due respect, I mean that as a great compliment.
It's certainly not one who is here for anything parlez-vous français.
I have a wife. Don't worry. I love her dearly. from last to fourth now for Zach Orr. How about that? Zach Orr was a lap down. Zach Orr was behind the field house. Black flag. Zach Orr has now battled his way back up to fourth position on double points night. The choose cone is out. No surprise. It's the Robertsons on the bottom.
So the Robertsons will have control of how that inside lane shakes out, which will be very, very key, I think, to try and keep Dylan Ward away from Chase Robertson. Biggest threat all night, but I have to wonder how the rear tires are doing on Ward's machine. So the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle pulls into its place. Dylan Ward goes. Chase Robertson doesn't. We'll try this again.
Well, I think he was taking notes from a previous restart where Dylan was trying to time it right. And Connor Branch said, I fire first. Two veterans dueling right there on a restart. It's interesting stuff here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Indeed, as we approach 10 laps to go in this 100-lapper for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. Chase Robertson, your control car in this restart. Dylan Ward to the outside. Good jumps for both of them. Arguably better from Dylan Ward, but he's stuck on the outside. Can he clear Chase Robertson in the corner? Tried to drive it in deep. Wasn't able to get in front of Robertson, so Robertson has that preferred inside lane as they come back to the north turn.
10 laps to go, and the gloves have come off in the 54th edition of the Sportsman 100. Robertson on the bottom, Ward on the top. Now can Ward get to the bottom? No! Robertson v. Robertson now in the lead, and Ward, trouble! He sparks himself into the wall. Ward's night is done.
There was contact with Chase Robertson. There, I think, was secondary contact with Ryan Robertson, and I think that Dylan Ward might have gotten that point in the fence right by the edge of the grandstands where it juts in just a little bit. It's not a lot, but I think that was enough to catch the right side of Dylan Ward's car, broke something on the right side of that machine, and that is why he is over by the tire barriers near the entrance to the work area.
Looks like the left front is down as well on that 77, so when things went bad, they went really bad. And he did a good job of getting that car slowed down before he hit the Koger Plumbing padding there in turn number 3.
So, trouble there for Dylan Ward. We have a moment to catch our breath. So that's what we're going to do. We'll take a break here, and we'll be back with more coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live on Flow Racing.
That's we came back to action here, and now we've got a chase. A chase is on.
Big stack up over in the corner, and it is literally duck, duck, goose between Zach Orr and Tiger Tommy Neal.
Oh, boy. The Tiger is not happy with Zach Orr. He is hiding behind the Pace vehicle. They went back to green uber quicker than we expected. They did the quickie caution on us. And Zach Orr got into the back of Tiger Tommy Neal. A big wreck ensued, collecting several cars. Connor Branch, T. Dawson, Kirk Sheets, the Zero Hero, and Kid Dynamite, Justin Cummins. But the Tiger is growling here, and it's not over yet.
Tommy Neal has made his way to the exit of turn 4. Zach Orr is parked perpendicular behind the modern Chevrolet pace car at the entry to turn 1. And Tommy Neal is going to go pay a little visit to him as some of these drivers get out. Let's see what Tommy does.
Tommy Neal is not happy. I'm telling you, you don't get him mad. You don't take a tiger by his toe. Is that what they say? Zach Orr right now is hiding behind the pace car just in front of this. He's pretty smart. He knows what he's doing.
Seen it before, and they've tangled for a few years now. You think back to 2021 and some of the incidents that Orr and Tommy Neal had. That's sort of where this all started, and those two have just not liked each other much since.
The officials trying to calm down Tiger Tommy Neal. He's not happy. The Harkey litigation machine. He is trying to litigate the situation right now. The officials are trying to litigate it on him. Orr's hiding behind the pace vehicle. Right now, they're cleaning up the mess, including Justin Cummins' beautiful number 97 and Kurt Sheets' Zero Hero machine. But all the fans are on their feet around the famed quarter mile to see what's going to happen next. You never know when you're here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Some people call it unneeded drama. Some people call it theatrics. All I know is it's real. This is a driver, Tommy Neal, one of the all-time greats here, who is hot under his collar right now. He's pulling alongside that pace vehicle, maybe having a little chat with Jimmy Apsher. Look at him. He's creeping forward. He wants to get within earshot of Zach Orr. The fans are loving it in the grandstands right now.
Somewhere and I don't know what this says about me, but I keep hearing the Pink Panther theme in my head watching all this, which I don't know if that works with
Oh, there's a bird season. It's bird season at the stadium. Oh. These fans are as passionate as the drivers in them.
How does this work? How does this pan out? And how do you handle this if you're Zach Orr here? Is Tommy Neal finally drives away from Zach Orr? I think having spooked Orr enough as they continue to clean up everything over in the middle of the south turn. So let's see where Tommy Neal goes now. Here's a good look here at how they all sort of came together. And this is a good look at initially how this all began between Neal and Orr.
We apologize for trying to get the replay going here, but our system, of course, not making it happen, but our hardworking folks in NASCAR are trying their best. There is Tommy Neal, and there are the stuck cars of Kirk Sheets and the 97 of Kid Dynamite.
So they clean that up. We get a moment to catch our breath here before what could be a very hectic, maybe handful of laps. So while they clean up, we'll take another break, and we'll be back with more action from the Sports 100. You're watching live coverage of Bowman Gray Stadium from Winston-Salem on Flow Racing.
Well, we're back here on Flow Racing, and you see a lot of fluid down on the racetrack, and we sure do have a mess here at Bowman Gray Stadium, but they are now trying to get the Justin Cummins car off the wall in turn number 1 and turn number 2. These double points nights, they sure do matter, James Pike, and last year we had an incredible example of that in the Sportsman 100, and that was Michael Adams. Michael Adams was your points leader, that number 19 right there. Well, what happened? There was a blown engine fluid in front of him. He spins as the caution flag comes out, right? Oh, no big deal. He'll get the lead. Caution wasn't thrown for him. No. He had a bumper dragging off of it, so that he couldn't get the bumper off the car. They had to black flag him, pretty much end his bid for a Sportsman Championship. He came in the night as the points leader, double points night. He was out, and then it all came down to Amber Lynn and Zach Orr, and that was a big swing for Zach Orr en route to his championship, that second-place finish to Amber Lynn.
It was a big, big, big run there for Amber Lynn, but it did change the complexion of Michael Adams' season. He took about 5 laps to try and get the bumper off, and it just never came.
There's T. Dawson. He's been in a spin cycle, and there's the number 21 of Tommy Neal. He's back on the track. He's not too happy. We'll have to keep an eye on him, especially after the race. We're going to have to keep an eye on the 21, definitely after the race, because he's not happy. Single file, this is what's going to happen, folks. We've seen double file restarts, but now since we are under, 5 to go, it switches to single file restarts, and technically we are now going into overtime as they just tripped the line for 100.
Green, white, checker situation inbound as the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle pulls off to its place in the middle of the north turn. Chase Robertson, Ryan Robertson, Zach Orr, Clifton, Taylor, your top 5 as we go back to green flag racing.
Robertson and Robertson, Orr in 3rd. Zach Clifton in 4th. Coming around to the white flag.
Chase Robertson with a good gap. Ryan Robertson, teammate, family right behind. Zach Orr trying to find a way to get the points on double points nights for second. One last run into Ryan Robertson, but it won't be enough to get P1. Chase Robertson picks up the win in the Sportsman 100 for the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Series and makes a big, big swing towards another title march with double points awarded tonight. This is as big a win as you could pick up in an individual night in the Sportsman Series.
Zach Orr finishing in 3rd. Big, big recovery from him, but we're watching right now as he is stopped and Tommy Neal is moving up. Tommy Neal is not happy with Zach Orr. The officials are trying to stop him. I'm sure this will continue behind the field house. Zach Clifton finishing in 4th. And right now, though, it is the family Robertson. See, the Robertsons have made the Sportsman 100 the family 100 tonight. Ryan will pull his car down and watch little brother march that checkered flag around this racetrack.
As Chase Robertson celebrates in the grass and does a few donuts not terribly far away from the little donut set up over at the exit of turn 2. Worth noting, it's his 3rd career win in a Sportsman 100 lapper. It's career win number 15 overall. And it ties his dad, Mike, for 27th all-time in the win list in the sports division. So it really, truly is a family affair for the Robertsons tonight.
And I'm sure Mike and his Chase's mom, everybody's running down the crew. Jerry Hunt Super Center, East Coast Wings on board. Mike Herman Racing, Inc. This is a great family affair here. Old Pee Wee's going to be joining him in Victory Lane, too, I'm sure. The Wally Heads have a lot to celebrate tonight. Let's go down to Randy Pulliam.
Brother Ryan, come over here to give him some congratulations. Chase getting a cool drink of water. Just about to climb out of the cockpit. Let him hear it, race fans. Chase Robertson. Chase, third win of the season, number 15 in your Bowman Gray career. What a race. That was exciting to watch, buddy.
Yeah, it was a great battle. I slipped up a little bit in Q, but I don't know if I would have had anything for Dylan in qualifying. He laid down a hell of a lap, but I knew if we could draw good and get the lead early, that was really my plan, and kind of just control the race from there. And we took the lead, and we kind of just set sail from there. But man, this car was just hooked up. I got to thank Dylan Ward. He showed why he's the best. And my parents, my family, my sponsors, just everybody who makes this possible for me. And I just want to thank East Coast Wings and Grill, Jerry Super Center, Timothy D. Wellborn, Sammy Sliders, Ava Cupcakes, Wahlberg Grill and Pizzeria, Thornburg Construction, DWR again, Swift Springs, Mike Herman Jr., Thermosil Spray and Solution, David Kinley Services, Long Art Welding, Mezzer Media, Hank Thomas Performance. Man, it takes a village.
Chase, I know there's a big, beautiful trophy over here with your name on it at the Carolina Wood Floors Winner Circle. Let's head over and pick up the winner trophy. Chase Robertson heading over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner Circle with that beautiful trophy. Cam Royster is going to present it to him. Carolina Wood Floors, open your doors to beautiful floors at Carolina Wood Floors. Chase and his crew will also get 4 months.
All right, we are back on Flow Racing after that great victory lane. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with the second Twin 25 for the Modifieds. Here we go. This is what you missed when we were at commercial. Tommy Neal using the bumper, trying to get around Robertson there, and then Orr gets into him here in the south turn, and mayhem ensues. This is what everybody was mad about. Justin Cummins coming in there late with a big hit in that number 97. Hard hit for him, but Robertson ends up the winner. Some hurt feelings, some hurt emotions behind them. Let's get to you to your starting lineup for the second Twin 25 for the Modifieds. On the pole, they call him a good race car driver, but they also call him Farmer Ted, the number 41 Z-Max machine for Bobby Meismer. To the outside, the 101-time winner, the 83 Hayes Jewelers machine, the Rocket Tim Brown.
Starting third from Manasquan, New Jersey, the co-host of Stacking Pennies in the number 79 machine, it's Skip Flores. Starting fourth, it's the 07 out of Parktown, North Carolina. It's the real deal. Riley Neal racing for Garage Doors of the Triad.
Next up, the Taylor Auto Parts 16. It's Chris Fleming to the outside. The great Lee Jeffries in the number 75, Wahlberg Pizza and Grill.
Starting in 7th out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the 04 Crazy Kevin Powell Motorsports Machine, driven by Brandon Ward, and chasing history and win number 101 in the modifieds. It's the Ace who will start 8th, number 1 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, racing for Citrus Safe Cleaners, Burt Myers.
Starting 9th will be the Big B Coffee, number 64 of Ethan Truel to the outside. The Flying Taco, Danny Probst.
Starting in 11th, the number 5 out of Poptown, North Carolina, racing for Amanda Tucker and Carolina Triad Choice Realty. It's Randy Butner, and starting alongside him in the number 9 Performance Machine and Fab car out of King, North Carolina, Kyle Southern.
The next row sees the driver of the number 8, Darren Redmond, and starting in 14th, the sophomore sensation, the Hustler car, Slate Myers.
Starting 15th out of Galloway, New Jersey, the number 73, it's Polly Hartwig. And starting in 16th, the number 4 car out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, racing for Carolina Drilling, it's the working man, Jason Myers.
The points leader heading into tonight, but let's see in double points night. Starting 17th to 10 of Mike Speeney to the outside, it's Crab Smith.
Starting in 19th, the number 35 machine out of Poptown, North Carolina, racing for Yadkin Valley Aviation. It's Brandon Butner and Gerald Robinson Jr., the number 39, will roll off from the 20th position. He's out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Amsoil.
Starting in 21st, the number 77 Brad's Golf Car is modified. The lovely Susan Harwell to the outside. Oh, a tough finish in the first race at number 51. The Snowman, Junior Snow.
Final car in this grid is the number 3, which will be driven this evening by Brandon Woods. 23 cars to take the start of the second twin 25-lap race for the Brad's Golf Cars Modified.
Well, it was an interesting first 25-lapper. Burt Myers starts in 8th. He was the winner. He redrew 8th. So the invert starts there. That puts Bobby Meismer on the pole, on the point. His car has been here a few times. His car owner has not. Kevin Hughes with Racing Electronics owns that number 41 machine.
You got to look there just a moment ago at the all-times win list. Burt Myers looking for modified win number 101. He'd have the opportunity to tie Tim Brown within the division and go outright top all time.
All right, getting back to the front there. Meismer in the 41. Brown on the outside. The other 101-time all-time winner. His 101 coming solely in the modified division. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God in 600 horsepower. The modifieds to the loud pedal, green for the second twin 25.
Bobby Meismer didn't get a good run. Oh, look at the move there from the inside. Skip Flores trying to take the lead right off the bat. Couldn't get underneath Bobby Meismer, but Meismer goes high in the corner again, and there's all sorts of room if Skip Flores can get down to the inside quick enough.
These modifieds are wild. 3 cars in the little side by side. Here comes the 16. Brown trying to get to the bottom. He can't. It's a dramatic opening 2 laps here for the modifieds.
Meismer starting to walk away from Flores ever so slightly. Might be a battle soon for third. Big stack up there behind Tim Brown, Riley Neal, and one car. Oh, Lee Jeffries, I think, stuck with the fence, and that checked up Burt Myers big time.
Burt Myers with a really close moment there, battling with the Butner machine and the 75 of Lee Jeffries. A lot of stack up right now. They know track position is everything. Now up front, Flores with the tap to the backside of the 41.
Flores has got to be careful. Damage to the front end of that nose, and if he gives up too much, there may be an opportunity for, Fleming. Oh, there might be. Is there an issue? Can't tell. He did not get out of the corner there. That was close, and maybe there is an issue. There is an issue with Skip Flores.
Right front tire. He made contact there with the right front tire. That's what did it. Flores now with trouble. A big shot across the bow to the 41 of Bobby Meismer. And that right front tire, I think some damage to it. It's tucked the nose under, but I also think it touched that right front tire and knocked that a little askew as well. But tough go for Flores. Now that moves the 16 of Chris Fleming, who's had a disastrous season thus far, into the second position.
Feast or famine, I think. The feasting came in February when he won the Madhouse Classic on Clash Weekend in front of a packed house here at Bowman Gray. The famine has been the start to this year, where it's been not the kind of finishes that he would have wanted or would deserve, I think, especially with the speed this car has shown, especially in past seasons. So this is a big opportunity for Chris Fleming to turn his season around. This is also a big opportunity for Tim Brown to turn his season around.
Well, you're talking about Fleming. I mean, yeah, he's got a third and a second, but he's also got a 13th, a 12th, a 23rd, and a 19th. Those are not Chris Fleming numbers. This guy for the last 2 seasons has been as solid as a rock. He's been a third place points guy about every year. He's won races. He doesn't get in trouble out there, and this year has been the opposite. He's had bad luck this year, and this is a night where he could turn it around here in this second Twin 25.
Opportunities for a lot of drivers, I think, in this field to just change their fortune some way, somehow, as we get the one to go, and the lights will go off the modern Chevrolet pace car. Meismer has an opportunity to hold on to track position. Tim Brown has the opportunity to go to victory lane. Riley Neal has not been to victory lane yet in this division. Brandon Ward would love to get back there. Ethan Truel currently running inside the top 10 as well. So Jimmy Absher will bring the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle down the backstretch to its place in the middle of the north turn. And Bobby Meismer Jr. will have the opportunity to lead this field back to green on lap 6 of 25. What kind of start does he get? How does Chris Fleming follow suit? Green flag back out. Pretty good restart for all of the top 3. And now this is going to be on Fleming to try and make a move and see if he can't do what Skip Flores was unable to and move Meismer out of the way to take the race lead.
I think it was just some impatience there. I mean, Flores really wants that first win, but, 5 laps on the board, you're not going to win it on the lap. So Meismer held on that ferocious charge, and he was overdriving that 41 car as well. Now the 16 dips that left front tire past the Turtles, almost on the grass.
Meismer doing a nice job of being able to hold off Fleming. Those cars look relatively even on pace at this point, and nobody behind really has had anything much to say about it. Nobody's really making a big charge up to the front. I almost wonder if people might be trying to click off laps just for a little bit, which is wild to think about in a 25-lap race, but I'm not seeing too much pressure yet.
It's hard. It's, people think, oh, wait, why are they not passing each other? These are the most powerful race cars in NASCAR. These are the most powerful race cars in short track racing, really, in pavement here. And look, right now, the battle is on. Just as we say that, the one driver trying to pass, using the front bumper a little bit there, is Chris Fleming.
All right, we get to lap 10, and now Chris Fleming decides it's time to make a move. Riley Neal thinking about it on Tim Brown just the same. Brandon Ward is there. The top 5 have gapped themselves from Ethan Truel to the tune of about maybe 2.5 car lengths. As Bobby Meismer Jr. continues to lead, they'll have the lap traffic of Crabsmith that they'll approach in the next handful of laps or so.
41 of Meismer. Hasn't been racing that much the last few years. Ran a handful of Southern Modified races in the Smart Tour. Has been focusing on his son Brody's racing efforts and his daughter as well. Being a family man halfway in this race.
Farmer Ted trying to put this field out to pasture as Skip Flores has gotten into it with somebody else. I believe that's the Flying Taco of Danny Probst, who is stuck facing the wrong way at the exit of the north turn, and it brings out a call 811 before you did caution on lap 14 of 25.
There's the Taco. He'll try to get that car turned around. The E-metals, hand-painted numbers and lettering and pinstriping on that beautiful blue and black modified. One of the most entertaining drivers of this division. Great guy, too. A lot of fun.
His fire suit is a tuxedo.
Yeah, it is a nudie
Say no
suit.
more.
It's a Porter Wagner nudie suit with a bow tie. Yeah, it's as cool as it gets, man. If you haven't seen it, if you could look it up on Flow Racing, there's a video we did last year of it. But, hey, quickie caution. We're going one to go again. Meismer leads Chris Fleming, Tim Brown, the real deal Riley Neal, Brandon Ward, Ethan Truel, the rookie competitor, Lee Jeffries, and Burt Myers.
Bobby Meismer out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, will lead this field back to green with about 10 laps to go. Jimmy Absher pulls the modern Chevrolet pace car off into the grass here at Bowman Gray. What kind of restart does Meismer get? Does Fleming get? They stack it up there. Fleming was ready to go, and I think that did throw off Meismer restart just a little bit because Fleming was able to stay pretty close to the rear bumper of that black and white machine leading this field. And now it's a full sprint down the backstretch as they begin to try and find gaps and holes and places to make passes to vault themselves up the leaderboard as we approach the final 10 laps.
I'll tell you what, Meismer charges that turn hard, and when he charges it really hard, he gives up the middle as far as diamonding that corner. He has a great exit, does Meismer, every single lap in that 41. Now will Chris Fleming study this and see his way to try to get around the number 41, but don't look now, the car in third position, the Hayes Jewelers Jerry Hunt Supercenter, number 83. Caution is out, and it is Kyle Southern in turn number 2.
Kyle Southern goes around at the exit of the south turn, brings out the yellow on lap 17. Another call, 811 before you did caution before us. So, Southern goes around. Couldn't tell if he had help, but he was the only car that was stuck over in the exit of turn 2. So this, I imagine, will also be a relatively short yellow period.
There is the Bobby Meismer number 41, housed in a little garage behind his home. Father works on the car with him at night. Kevin Hughes, the owner from Racing Electronics. He's been watching the Flow Racing broadcast from Alaska. For the last 2 weeks, he's been on a bear hunt. And I told him today, because he finally got his bear. He was so happy about it. The paw was the size of my head. And I've got a big head. And I said, man, you are the bear hunter now. I'm going to call you the bear hunter. He's like, nope, I'm the bear slayer. And I was like, that is great. You going to look to slay it tonight? He's like, heck yeah. So he is confident in his driver. Long-time combination. They ran late models at Concord Motorsports Park for so many years, so many victories. Ran in modifieds, some with my brother and his team. And I'll tell you what, have won some races here. 2-time winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. And Bobby Meismer is a grassroots short tracker.
Kevin the Bear Slayer. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, same kind of vibe. I can get behind it. I think it works.
Buffy Hughes.
Okay. All right.
No, I'll never call him Buffy. That's my guy. I know right now, though, there's a bunch of people at the K-Town Pizza Pub that are tuning in right now and watching this on the TV. They're loving to see Farmer Ted at the top. 17 laps on the board. The 16 is going to be all over him.
Chris Fleming beginning to ramp up the pressure with each and every restart that we have. Another shot to the rear bumper. Another opportunity to go chrome horn with it in the middle of the north turn as Meismer hangs on. And I think to your point, Dillner, at what point does Chris Fleming adjust his entry and exit to try and compensate for where Meismer is driving in deep and then getting off the gas? And where is the opportunity if you're Chris Fleming?
It's going to be probably with the bumper. Fleming, though, a pretty clean race car driver, not one to overuse the bumper, but he needs to turn around his season as well, coming to 5 laps to go.
Well, they all went high up in the corner. Meismer checked up to make sure that Chris Fleming couldn't complete the pass. Tim Brown is right here. If either of these two up front have any sort of issue, Tim Brown could be looking at win number 102 as Meismer goes way up the racetrack there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that was going up the racetrack because of the front bumper of Chris Fleming and that Jerry Hunt Supercenter ride. Jerry Hunt Supercenter in second and third. Fleming, an employee there.
Another set of bumper tags from Chris Fleming. Nothing yet as Meismer continues to hang on and lead at Bowman Gray. Coming to lap 23 of 25. Not too many more opportunities for Chris Fleming to take away control of this race.
2 laps to go for Farmer Teddy. Slides it off into the south turn, giving a little bit of hope to the driver of the number 16.
Another big shot there as Bobby Meismer Jr. hangs on. White flag. One more trip around the Madhouse.
Can he make it? Can he do it? The driver of the 41. He's got his paw down on the accelerator, heading into the north turn, and out of it comes Bobby Meismer. He's a winner again at Bowman Gray Stadium. Farmer Ted has done it.
The trophy comes home to roost for Farmer Ted, perhaps? Perhaps? Maybe?
He comes back from Alaska, does Kevin Hughes, car owner, and gets the big win. Miesmer's third career win and first since the year 2018. Bobby Miesmer, the Z-Max Nor Group, number 41, pulls it into victory lane, and he will go for the victory lap. I'm sure Brody Miesmer will be so happy to see his dad in victory lane now that he works on these race cars in the shop. 3 generations of Miesmers working together hand in hand every night.
June 30th, 2018, the last time he was at Victory Lane. So, 6 years, 11 months about? Ballpark? Math. I don't know why they trust us to do the math. But we can trust that we're going to see Bobby Miesmer Jr. in Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane here in a matter of moments. But he is soaking this in and taking a well-earned victory lap.
Well, this team was here this morning practicing. Unexpected that they've been here for these Twin 25s. They did not plan on running them. They planned at the beginning of the year to run the 100 lappers, the Twin 50s and such. Right now, the crew slowly making their way to the car. Bobby Miesmer, again, a winner. Usually a number 14, now renumbered 41. Ryan Priest drove the car at the Clash, and now a few weeks into the season, it's Miesmer, the winner. There is Kevin Hughes and company walking down the front straightaway. Let's go down to Chris Carter in victory lane.
Kevin Hughes, the owner of this machine. Miesmer getting his helmet off, getting ready to come on out of here. Some happy team members. Here he comes. Make some noise! Miesmer! Farmer Ted, whatever you want to call him, you don't mind right now. Your third win in Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division. Way to go, man. You had a mirror full of that number 16. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say. But anyway, yeah, I got to thank Chris. He could have ran me a lot worse. But he was doing what he needed to do to try and rattle my cage. And I was able to hold him off. I got to thank my crew. Kevin, I took a whole year off last year to race with my son. And tonight he was spotting for me, and he did it last week, and I tell you what, that's pretty special. My dad used to spot for me, and he went through a bunch of other people, but to have my son spotting for me, that's pretty cool. But thanks to Alcova Mortgage, Stephen Knorr and that group, Ed Fennell, Z-Max Products, Racing Products, Tony's Racing Engines, Boston Reed Real Estate, Frank Bolter and that whole group, Race Electronics. I don't want to forget anybody, but it's been a while, and I want to get one of them first 25s and maybe a 100 lapper before the end of the year.
Tell these fans listening, how old is your son?
He's 15, or he'll be 15.
And he's a heck of a racer himself.
Oh, a little shout out to Brody Miesmer there, Boston Reed and the company, having a good time watching that one. Bobby Miesmer, your winner. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with the Buzz Bombers, the Stadium Stock Division.
Welcome back to Flow Racing's coverage of the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series live from historic Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. James Pike and Matthew Dillner here, ready to bring you all the action from the Q104.1 Stadium Stack Division. We've got 2 races on tap for them. Let's go to the starting grid for race number 1 here of the evening.
Starting on the pole for the first race for the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Division will be a car that's been, well, quite frankly, pretty darn good this year. It'll be the number 43 of Robert Stremiska. Oh, actually, no, this is race number 1. I got handed the wrong one. I'm sorry. On the pole, well, this car has been darn good this year because he hasn't finished any worse than second. Brandon Lee Brendel will start on the pole. To the outside, it's the Ellis Cart Pond, number 60. The black machine for Brad Michalowski.
Starting in the 3rd position, the number 2 machine out of Advance, North Carolina. Racing for Van Noy Construction, it's Carson Reed, and starting to his outside, it's the number 25 machine, piloted by Matt Goodwin out of Kernersville, North Carolina for Peace Out Vapes.
Starting 5th tonight in the Tysinger Lawn Care, number 27, it is Austin Cates. To the outside, the orange and black machine, Patriot Market, Tyler McDonald in the 47.
Starting in 7th, the number 26 car out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Cowboys Garage and Eveready Mixed Concrete. It's Ricky Wall. Starting in 8th, the number 44 machine out of Carolina, racing for Dean's Tree Services, Blaze Sanders.
Alavia Therapeutic Massage, number 86, starts 9th. That's Dakota Meller. And to the outside, welcome back to the Madhouse, Blade Runner Pond, number 28 for the veteran, Robert Mays.
Starting 11th, racing out of Moxville, North Carolina, the number 1 car, the Electroforce Incorporated Slim Reaper, Grayson Keaton. And starting to his outside in 12th, in the number 83 machine. Out and about on the racetrack is Ethan Hutchins.
Starting 13th tonight, number 16, the Lindley Plumbing Machine. It's listed tonight as Blaine Curry. And to the outside, David Rose in the number 33.
Your final 2 starters this evening in the number 12 machine out of Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, the rookie racing for Dalton McGuire of Forsyth Farm Brewer Insurance. It's Tyler Rose, and starting shotgun on the field, it's Light Bright, J.B. Library racing for Young's Floors.
You know, Light Bright doesn't have his light anymore. We might have to retire his nickname. You know, I don't know what happened to his light.
Figure out that problem later.
I think it went where my lineup went.
Maybe, as the lights are off on the bottom Chevrolet pace car, and it will be Brandon Lee Brendel and Brad Michalowski that will lead us to green in our first of 2 stadium stock features here tonight at the Madhouse to cap off this double points night. Double points for these drivers, too. And the way the stadium stocks shake out, this may be arguably the most valuable of the double points night across the 4 divisions, just with the way it shakes out. Brandon Lee Brendel leads us to green. We are underway with race number 1.
Brendel leads them into turn number 1. Michalowski to the bottom now to the outside. Here comes the Van Noy Construction Machine of Carson Reed trying to make hay on the bottom behind him coming out of turn number 4.
Carson Reed trying to move here. 1 car spun around in the middle of the north turn off the racing line. We say green, and that allows us to keep our eyes glued to this battle for second between Reed and Michalowski. As you see, it was the 28 car of Robert Mabe that ended up in the grass, and now trouble for the 26 machine of Ricky Wall.
Wall to the infield, doing some donuts of his own in the Cowboys garage. Number 26, he's going to re-enter the racing surface. Right now, I think Brandon Lee Brendel is stretching out. He's trimming his toenails on the fan of the front of that engine. Got some slow cars on the track, some lap traffic up ahead for Brendel. This is going to get dicey here for Brandon Lee Brendel in the number 43. Mabe does a great job to pull that car down to the inside. The battle is on for second, though, and that is Reed and McDonald going through lap traffic. Oh, boy, that was close, and here comes the Slim Reaper behind them, the number 1 machine.
Noted he started in 11th. He's now up to, I believe, 5th, if my math is correct. How about the run early on in this race for Grayson Keaton to get all that track position? Get a good look here, trying to look to the inside of Austin Cates as Brandon Lee Brindle stretches it out clear by about half a straightaway over Brad Michalowski. Tyler McDonald has made his way to third. Then it's Austin Cates, and then the Slim Reaper, Grayson Keaton, rounding out the top 5. Continuing to work their way around the Madhouse. Lap 7 up on the board, so we're about at the halfway point. Nobody really particularly near Brindle so far as same lap traffic is concerned, but he'll have more lap down traffic to deal with. Good battle here, though, as Keaton looks to the inside of Cates.
Keaton to the bottom. That car is super fast. Pike just told you he came from the 11th position. He's making hay some more. Now he gets around Cates, and that number 27 sets sail to try to get up to the number 47 of McDonald, who's all over the rear bumper of the 60 car of Brad Michalowski.
Oh.
That's the battle on the field right now. Black car and black and orange machine.
3 cars there. About in it. Brandon Lee Brindle stretching away, continuing to pace this field, and they are tightening up for second, third, and fourth. That's where the action is on this racetrack right now as they try and find their way around the lap traffic.
Oh, lap traffic is, this is like a sprint car race. I feel like I'm watching the high limit racing tour, you know, like lap traffic playing a part here in this race. 10 laps, now 11 laps on the board as Michalowski, McDonald, and Grayson Keaton has been slicing and dicing through that lap traffic.
Not really much to say about Brandon Lee Brindle. He's clear of all this. This is where the action is on the racetrack right now. You can see the gap there that Brindle's opened up as these 3 cars are within about maybe 4 or 5 car lengths of one another, and Tyler McDonald continuing to pile the pressure on Brad Michalowski.
McDonald, one of the breakout performers of 2024, now all over Michalowski. Michalowski still looking for his first win, but when you line up and you have the 43, ahead of you, that's a tough one. Now he's got to try to get around Matt Goodwin in the red, white, and blue, number 25. Great to see the Gorilla back in action here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
The lap car there, staying to the inside of Goodwin as Keaton continues to try and chase down these 2 cars ahead of him. They've tightened the gap to Brandon Lee Brindle a little bit. The problem, though, is that Brindle is maybe a quarter of a lap away from taking the white flag in this first stadium stack feature.
Checkered flag is out, and Brandon Lee Brindle does it. A walk-off for his 33rd career stadium stock victory. This guy is virtually unstoppable.
It's his 33rd career win, as you mentioned, Matthew, but it ties Robert Jeffries and Puddin' Switcher for 27th on the all-time wins list at the Madhouse across all divisions, and now he has 3 wins in his last 5 starts. This is the hottest hand in the deck that is the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series right now.
I like that card reference. That was some good stuff. Let's talk about this dominance, okay? We got some trouble here brewing at the pit entrance.
Austin Cates and Ricky Wall. Ricky Wall not happy with Austin Cates.
Well, you'll have that. Getting back to Brindle as he holds the checkered flag and takes his victory lap. We were talking about the dominance, okay? And it's hard to put it in perspective sometimes unless you lay it out, okay? Starts the season out with a win. The next week, a win, okay? That's 2 wins right there. The next week, a second. The next week, a second. And now a win, okay? That's amazing. That's absurd.
Wild.
I mean, you can't, unless he goes out there and sweeps every darn race, you're just not going to get better than that.
What's the average on that? I'm trying to think.
That would be 1.3.
1.33, yeah.
I believe, yeah, 1.333. You know, I don't know. I'm just taking a guess.
Fair.
1.4.
1 point. Justin
Mincy, of
Mincy,
course he
the
would know that.
statistician.
Oh no, he has a calculator. Oh, he cheated. Oh, thank God there's no tech in the booth here.
Well, he got the math right. That's what I care about. I don't care how he got there. What we're going to do is going to go down to Randy Pulliam, track announcer here, who will shortly be with our winner, Brandon Lee Brindle.
Here he comes, Brandon Brindle, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Brindle. Brandon, let's head around over here so other folks from Flow Racing can see you a little better. It's becoming a habit. Win number 3 on the season. Got to feel great. Number 33, I believe, in your career.
Yeah, we got a pretty fast race car this year. Hopefully we can continue and keep it going.
Well, 3rd win of the season, setting you up really nicely. A lot of momentum. In 2 weeks, you'll have your 50-lapper, your biggest one of the season, setting up with a lot of momentum going into that.
Yeah, we put on a new set of tires for this race just to try to get them ready for that race. So a little bit more work, and they'll be there.
Well, you can't do it without your sponsors. I know you want to thank them.
First and foremost, I got to thank Todd Barnhart.
Wow, Brandon Lee Brindle celebrates. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with one more stadium stock race here from Bowman Gray, live on Flow Racing.
The Buzz Bombers are ready for action here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and that is the beloved nickname of this long-time division here at the stadium. And we are getting you set for the second 15-lap race, our final one of night 1,116. Let's give you the starting lineup. On the pole, the number 90 machine, Robert Bug Stramiska. And to the outside, the clear view detail machine, trying to get a clear view to the front, the 74 of Matt Alley.
Starting in third out of Kernersville, North Carolina, and the number 95 Bubble & Suds pressure washing machine, it's Levi Holt. And starting in the fourth position, it's the number 24 to Moxville, North Carolina, the Clifton Plumbing machine, piloted by A.J. Sanders.
Starting spot number 5 belongs to the Disco Turkey, number 51. It's Andrew Cates, and to the outside, the great Chuck Wall and the Little Donuts, number 81.
Starting in seventh out of Moxville, North Carolina, driving the number 5 Reinhardt Fire Services car, it's Connor Keaton. Starting in the 8th position, driving the number 36 machine out of Wahlberg, North Carolina, it's the Piedmont Steel car, driven by Austin Long.
Driver of the next car, the black number 22 machine, it's Adam, well, Peanut. We call him Peanut. Peanut Baker. And to the outside, the 46, it's Colton Brown.
Starting in 11th in the number 7, it's not a Pinto, it's not a Mustang, it's a Pintang. Chris Allison drives the 21 Motors Inc. machine from the 11th spot on the grid. Starting in 12th in the number 80 car out of Advance, North Carolina, it's Luke Smith.
Starting in lucky position number 13 tonight, the Coger Plumbing, number 18 for Billy Andrews. And to the outside, all pink tonight, the Dispensary, number 11 for Sydney Sanders.
Starting in 15th, it's number 15, the rookie out of Boca Raton, Florida, racing for Stacking Pennies and Cheeky Soap, it's Andre Chavez. And starting in 16th, shotgun on the field, it's the number 88 machine, the Greg Butcher Trucking car, driven by Zach Taylor.
I love Greg Butcher Trucking.
Big-time partner for a lot of people here at the stadium. Lots of drivers.
Such a long-time supporter of racing here, you know, and you know, I know he loves Bowman Gray, and he loves watching on Flow too, so we appreciate that.
Appreciate the service also. Matt Alley in the 74 going to be sent to the rear before we get started.
Oh, wow. Big development there for Matt Alley, who's not had any luck this year. That moves up A.J. Sanders to the outside of the front row. Stramiska, who won the feature event, the RCR employee who won the feature event last week, going against the Grandmaster of the stadium stocks, A.J. Sanders.
One more race on night 1,116 here. It's the second race for the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series, and Bug Stramiska will lead us to green now. We are underway with the second 15-lapper, and A.J. Sanders trying to hang tight. Big run there for Levi Holt to tuck up right underneath Bug, and he spins Bug, and Tuckwall goes into the fence. Waiting for the call 811 before you take caution to come out. Wall is stuck over in the corner. There it is. There's the caution before we even get a lap in.
Ka-chow from the front bumper of Levi Holt. kind of triggered a little bit of sideways action that ended up with the number 81 in the wall very hard. The driver of the number 81, of course, Chuck Wall. Wall, second in points on double points night, and Brendan Lee Brendel winning that race. This is huge.
That really does hurt Chuck Wall. I think the better question we have to ask, since you brought it up, is that more of a Lightning Queen Kachow or a Chick Hicks Kachiga?
No, I mean, he is Lightning McQueen, the number 95 of Levi
Fair,
Holt.
fair.
I'm not going to go Kachiga.
But here's the thing. That's not really a Lightning McQueen move. That was more of a Chick Hicks move.
It was a Chick Hicks move, maybe. I mean, if you're, but I'm not going to sit here and blame the poor guy. I mean, he got into
I didn't
there.
say blame him.
It did trigger it, but, we can't make him a bad guy. He's Lightning McQueen. My kid loves it. There he is right there, gets it to Bugs Tremiska. When he checks up, though, because of that contact, everybody's stacked up, and that is going to be tough for Chuck Wall right here. It looks like that car has refired, so that is good news already. A two-time winner this year, and now he's pulling to the bottom.
I have to believe there's got to be damage somewhere, either on the left front or the right front suspension of that car. See whether or not Chuck decides to take it into the work area, and the answer to that question is yes. That will just hurt.
That's absolutely huge for the 36-time winner. Wow.
And a shame, too, making his 200th career start in this division tonight to tie Randy Moore for 6th all-time amongst stadium stock drivers. The 6th most experienced driver in the history of this division, with trouble early in the second 15-lapper for the Q104.1 stadium stocks.
I mean, that's one of those ones where this could be a crux moment in the season.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the chinks in the armor with A.J. Sanders this year. Trouble for Sanders getting in that pileup. He is not up top. Brendel comes back. He's on top of this race, though. Brendel comes back, and he's dominating this division. Chuck Wall is the guy neck and neck with him. And now Wall has some trouble. And, folks, just take a magnifying glass out. Magnify it. It's double points night.
Don't forget Tyler McDonald had a top 5 run in that first race, and he's third in points coming into tonight, too.
But he finished behind Brendel again. That's the problem.
So he loses points, but still, people that will likely leapfrog Chuck Wall in the standings as we go back to Green Flag Racing. And A.J. Sanders in control of this, the Grandmaster now with the opportunity to scoot away. What does Levi Holt have in store? Maybe a run here. Tried to look to the inside of Sanders, thought better of it. And now I wonder what Austin Long is going to have to say about this.
I'll tell you what, A.J. Sanders hasn't gotten a lot of wraps to the back bumper in the last 2 years in this division, and Holt is coming quick right behind him. Lightning McQueen ride, Austin Long, the sophomore sensation, behind them in the white and yellow 36.
These three are absolutely knotted together, and Connor Keaton is trying to traverse this gap. He's cleared himself for the rest of the field to go to 4th, but the front three have just completely driven off the front of this field, but they haven't really raced each other directly all that much. They're sort of working together to get themselves a gap as the Disco Turkey machine gets turned a little bit further back in the field and has to strut his tail feathers to get out of the grass.
Now in 4th, Connor Keaton in 5th position. Billy Andrews, Luke Smith behind him, Pintang behind him, battles on for second position. Austin Long to the bottom. The white cars on the back straightaway, side by side, dodging Chuck Wall's machine into the north turn.
Chuck Wall tried to complete another lap and can't even make it into the work area and is stopped right there on the edge, and that will force a call 811 before you did caution.
Chuck Wall, the bleeding has not stopped. The trouble continues. That thing is broke.
And you can see the damage, especially on the right front there. That was
won't steer.
Yeah, part of the ensemble of equipment up there that got broken in that incident on the opening lap. And I have to believe at this point that's probably race over for Chuck Wall. Meanwhile, lights are already off the modern Chevrolet pace car as we work lap 6, I believe. And Jimmy Absher will have the opportunity to pull that machine back into its place in the middle of the north turn momentarily, and A.J. Sanders will resume the battle with Levi Holt, Austin Long. And now, if there's anybody that benefits from this big time, Connor Keaton had to work a gap. had to try and claw these drivers back. Now, Connor Keaton will make this a 4-car battle for the race lead. No doubt about it, as A.J. Sanders will lead us back to green flag racing.
Sanders leads it. Holt behind him. Holt gets into the back bumper just slightly coming out of turn number 2. Holt looking to the bottom, but Sanders motors ahead in that number 24.
Holt tried to set up and change his entry so he could get a good run on Sanders, and all he got was a rear bumper from Austin Long, who thought better of trying to let it all go away, but that's only let A.J. Sanders develop a little bit of breathing space there to the tune of about half a car length, maybe more, as they will come to halfway. Cross flags this time for the Grandmaster.
Sanders up front, but the battle is on for second, third, fourth, and fifth. Luke Smith now entering the fray. Connor right there gets a little shot from the back of Luke Smith.
Oh, and Austin Long got very, very sideways on the exit of the north turn, and here comes Connor Keaton to the inside to try and get the third spot. Big drive at the bottom. He'll bring Luke Smith with him, and Smith may be able to get fourth, and it may send Long back to fifth.
Here comes the freight train on the bottom. Long patiently tries to fill in. There he goes. Tucks in behind Luke Smith. Here comes the Pintang behind them. The one who loves seeing all this in the rearview mirror is A.J. Sanders. Here comes Long to the bottom of Luke Smith.
Contact there with Luke Smith. Smith trying to save it in the middle of the corner. Long will get down to the bottom. The Pintang has the opportunity to follow suit. If it chooses, it will not. Pintang actually goes high. Here comes Buck Stremiska to the bottom, and a car is spun over. Peanut Baker is stopped in the middle of the south turn to bring out the call 811 before you did caution on lap 11 of 15.
My kid just went, no, when we said peanut. He likes the peanut.
Was that like a Darth Vader no?
It's like, no. It wasn't very deep and slow. No.
Star Wars Day was 3 weeks ago, Hudson.
You gotta love Peanut Baker. Generational driver here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Great family of racing at this beautiful facility here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. His mom is, he's biggest fan. But I guess every is, right? You know? But this is a great racing family, and we love calling Peanut Baker's name. I love that it's not Adam Baker Jr. You know, it's Peanut. Peanut. That's the characters that is the Madhouse.
Speaking of mothers, in tonight's edition
of
Marjorie. Text to Marjorie, there was first
your mom,
Ooh La La Marjorie, who I don't think spells her name the same way. We have a one to go by the way.
Oh yeah, Marjorie. That wasn't about you. That was Marjorie Bornier.
So, and then even the dog in the family, Lily, got in. Little Poodle says that she likes the name Chase, which for those of you who are familiar,
talks?
Yes, Poodle talks.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, a little bit. And if you're familiar with Paw Patrol, then you'll understand Chase, the German Shepherd, who's the sort of head of that show. So makes sense that a fellow dog would be supportive of a name like Chase. As we stop the dog discussion and get back to watching these dogs race it out here. 3 laps to go. A.J. Sanders in control.
Sanders, and here comes Holt, the little car that could, coming to the bottom of A.J. Sanders, but no, Sanders powers on.
What a big shot. Middle of the corner, everybody goes sideways. Sanders hangs onto it, as does Holt, and all that did was allow A.J. Sanders to get away by about a car length.
Oh, that was his shot, I think, Levi Holt. Stremiska marching his way back up through this field late in the race. Give him P5. Connor Keaton to the backside of Holt. Connor Keaton makes some daylight underneath. Holt tries to cut in but can't do it. Smith down to the bottom. White flag is out.
A.J. Sanders clear here by a mile. What is the battle going to end up like for third? There goes Luke Smith. There goes Buck Stremiska. All happening behind A.J. Sanders, who goes back to victory lane in the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Division. Connor Keaton was second. Luke Smith third. Buck Stremiska fourth. And I believe Levi Holt ends up rounding out the top 5.
Win number 65. For the greatest to ever hold a steering wheel possibly in this division, 65 wins in the Stadium Stock Wars. Not to count his just ridiculous record in the mini stock ranks in this region. You are watching an old guard legend of short track racing, a guy that, you know, raced in the Big Ten Series, raced late models at Concord Motorsports Park in Concord, North Carolina, now Lost Speedway. And a guy that once he got into the mini stock ranks, it's just been pure dominance.
No one even close, really, in this. Second all-time in this division with wins. I believe it's Randy Moore with 38. A.J. Sanders is 64.
And then 36 for Wall behind him, an active driver. Those are the two giants, the Goliaths, really, in this division here. But Sanders, a family affair. Steven Sanders, Sydney Sanders, his daughter-in-law, Blaze Sanders. They're all going to be here in Victory Lane celebrating this one.
And for as much as we talked about wins through divisions earlier tonight, especially when we were talking about Burt, every single one of A.J. Sanders' wins have come in this Stadium Stock division. We now go down trackside one more time to track PA announcer Randy Pulliam, who is with the Grandmaster of the Stadium Stocks, A.J. Sanders.
Win number 2 in the 2025 campaign for the defending champion of the Stadium Stock Series, A.J. Sanders. Climbs out of the cockpit, a winner for the second time in 2025. A.J., win number 2, 65 by my calculation. I'll tell you what, those restarts, Levi Holt gave you all you could handle, but you proved up to the muster on that.
Right, and I knew what I had to do and not overdrive the corner because he was giving me shots, and if I overdrove the corner, he was going to turn me around. But hey, I can't thank my spotter enough. Tony White, the best in the business, he kept me calm, telling me what to do, what was going on behind me. But I'm going to tell you what, the good Lord above is good. I got to say that, this is Memorial Weekend. Thank you to everyone who, has gave it all for us to be able to do this. I'm just happy to be able to do it. So I got to thank my sponsors, Amanda Tucker, shame she wasn't here, Carolina Tri-Choice Realty, Twin City Towing, LSR Racing, Parish Tire, NGI Graphics, God, it's so hard. I'm so tickled. Jerry Hunt Super Center, Locaretta's of Moxville, Radical Race Gear for these uniforms and what I do for us. I don't know. I'm probably forgetting somebody, and if I am, I'm really sorry, because when you're standing here, it's hard. I guess I need to do what the Keatons do, have me a cheat sheet. I guess I just don't have as many as them, so it wouldn't take long. But that sticker right there on the front, my mom, my dad, this is good for you. This is for them. So, and everybody watching, I mean, we're leading the most popular driver. I don't know what's going on there. We're getting a lot of votes, and I really, really appreciate it, because we got the greatest fans in the world right here at Bowman Gray. And Dean's Tree Services here out of Florida to help us and watch us, and we drove his car last night. So this is good that he was here to be able to watch us.
Well, AJ, you had a tough start to the season. Starting to get some momentum now. This is your second win.
Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing, and we'll be back at Bowman Gray.
Second time this season, win number 65 in his career in the Stadium Stock, A.J. Sanders. Going to go into the Carolina Wood Floors Winner Circle. Carolina Wood Floors, open your doors to beautiful floors at Carolina Wood Floors. His crew will also pick up 4 delicious milkshakes, courtesy of Chick-fil-A at Thruway Shopping Center. Well, race fans, that concludes our program for tonight. We thank you so much for being here tonight, being the best race fans in all of weekly racing. And we also want to remember what this weekend's all about. Memorial Day weekend, and once again, giving honor, paying respect to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, be careful going home. I want to say thank you on behalf of my announced partner, Chris Carter.
We are back at Bowman Gray Stadium on a historic night 1116th edition, and it was, as always, exciting.
Oh, of course. Fabulously exciting, as always, at Bowman Gray. Let's give a shout-out to tonight's winners this evening. Kyler Staley opened up the evening with his first career street stock win at the Madhouse. Brandon Lee Brendel and A.J. Sanders are winners of the Q104.1 Stadium Stocks. Chase Robertson picks up the 100-lapper in the Sportsman Division. And Bobby Meesber Jr., Farmer Ted, got the win. And Burt Myers now with 100 wins in the modifieds.
100 wins in modifieds, 101 overall, now tied for the overall wins list with Tim Brown. History.
Big time history on double points night, too. So it's a very, very big evening for all of the drivers that landed in victory lane. And it does not stop. We're right back at it next week. And coming up in the next few weeks here, Matthew Dillner, we have a fabulous set of events that are going to go down at the Madhouse, and all you can see live or on demand on Flow Racing.
I can't wait. I love the Modified 100. Of course, I love the Twin 50s. Stadium stocks get their week to shine. Of course, True Liant Federal Credit Union Night of Destruction will be later this year as well. We got a lot lined up for you on Flow Racing with Bowman Gray Stadium coverage. Come join us at the Madhouse. Be one of the 17,000 strong that do so each and every week, or watch us live on Flow Racing.
I think of two big thoughts here as we get ready to close out the evening. Kyler Staley going to victory lane for the first time. We know how big that family is. And Farmer Ted going to victory lane for the first time since 2018. For me, maybe my favorite stories of the evening. And on this evening, I will close out my portion of things by saying, glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur, 2025 Europa League champions.
Soccer.
Of course.
Come on, man. We got the Clydesdales, man.
Might be even better.
We started the night off with Clydesdales. As we were told, 8 horsepower right there, but then it transferred to a lot more horsepower and a lot more action here at the Madhouse. And, well, the Madhouse did some Madhouse things tonight, and you see it right here on your screen. Things got a little dicey in the featured race, the Sportsman 100 with Tommy Neal and Zach Orr getting into it.
Big contact there, and then we saw all sorts of action between Zach Orr and Tommy Neal under caution, playing tag or duck, duck, goose or whatever you may think there, as they ran around the modern Chevrolet pace car trying to make sure that they were all okay. And in the end, once we finally sorted things out, it was a big, big win there. And also a big thank you to all of our service people here on Memorial Day weekend, too. Would not want to forget them.
All right. Happy Memorial Day, folks. This is Madhouse action at Bowman Gray each and every week. For everybody in our hard-working crew, I'm Matthew Dillner, James Pike, Justin Mincy, all of them. I'm Matthew Dillner, and we'll see you at the races.